Just win, baby.
You heard the man. Just win, baby. Just
Here we
win. And that's
go.
what
Here
we
we go.
plan on doing. So here we
Ah,
go. Welcome back to the BART, the Bay Area Raider Talk. And I brought my attitude adjuster because few of y'all need your attitude adjusted. I brought back the good Raider though. We had such a nice time the last time. So we brought him back. We didn't get a chance to talk about defense. We talked a lot about offense and a lot about
woo-hoo.
the history. So we're going to talk a little bit about the defense with Rob Leonard and Max Crosby and what we
Mhm,
can expect for the defense. And then we're going to
mhm,
just talk Raider football, just have fun. We're gonna be here for 2 hours and that's it. That's a lot of
mhm.
time during
It's a
this
lot of
dead
time.
time.
It's a lot of time. A
So
lot of time.
let's get to it, brother. How was your day? How was everything going?
Good. Just got back from the gym, so the energy is
Nice.
like, you know, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm ready to go. Look, I put this caveat right there, right now. When it comes to defense, the first statement I have to start with, especially with Max, is there was a reason the Raiders were willing to trade Max Crosby. Just keep that in mind because you cannot talk defense without talking about that one issue, right? Okay.
Well, get into it. What's the reason why you think they traded him?
He, he's he's not necessary for what the Raiders are trying to do defensively. That that's really it. Scheme wise, he's not really necessary. Building wise, he's not really necessary. Now, I'm not saying he's not good. I'm saying he's not necessary. In other words, not really needed right now. The same reason why I don't think the Raiders are going to sign a Stephon Diggs or a Tyreek Hill. We're going for what's needed right now. It's a rebuild, right? And some things in a rebuild are just not really needed. And a 29-year-old Max Crosby is a luxury. But that being said, that's a luxury that I'm willing to have, and it's a luxury that Rob Ryan is willing to have. But I do have some questions about how well Max will fit into the new defensive scheme of 3-4. I do have some questions, but we'll see.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. I can see. I think you did say it is a luxury. I will agree. It is a luxury to have a max in this defense on your defense. Now the
Mhm,
question is, will he fit in this defense?
mhm.
Being that we're running a 3-4 base, I don't know, maybe 30% of the time, a third of the time,
Right.
probably 2/3 of the time would be in the nickel or dime or
And then
something like that.
that's
So
it right there. That's it. That's it.
yeah, so maybe Max will be able to thrive in those situations. I don't know so much about the 3-4 unless we game a lot, with the DN and the outside linebackers,
There it
then
is.
maybe we can do something like that.
And I've
Uh,
said it before. So a real quick explanation on that is that in a 3-4 defense, the role that Max plays will be on top of the guard and the tackle. He can't beat both of them consistently. So if you are going to be in a standard 3-4, that will backer is gonna have to do some action there to open up Max to get in those lanes. So that's all I mean by
yes.
that. Now, Max is good against the run. We've seen it, but he's also 29 years old. So
Yeah, I'm not concerned about him being 29.
mhm.
Yeah,
That's the thing though.
I
What
think
what do
he
you
got
think?
like think he has maybe like 2 or 3 more peak years left.
Okay. Okay. I've always said this. Right now, I think Max is gonna play for another 6 years
Mhm.
because it's Max, right? Even when his entire body is giving up, Max is still crawling, making tackles with one finger because it's Max. But your body can only take you so far. And if Max wants to make the Hall of Fame, if he wants to be a Hall of Famer, I tell people he's not close yet. He's gonna have to put up at least 5 to 6 more solid seasons, including a couple of all-pro seasons in there. Now, does that body still have it, given that Max's play style is all about hustle and never getting out of the game? Here's the simplest way to put it: muscle is still muscle, bones are still bones. They get tired, they get weak, they break, they stretch. At some point, your body isn't going to be able to do 100% hustle every single game. But again, I say 6 years because Max is Max and he's still crazy, right? So he's still gonna give you 6 years because he's Max, right?
Yeah, I think he's going to end up being the Raiders' all-time sack leader.
Mm-hmm,
Uh,
mm-hmm,
you're right. He's going to need some All Pros. I mean, a Super Bowl will help, right? So
mm-hmm,
I understand the greatness. The Hall, there's a few that's in there. And speaking of the Hall, I'll be
mm-hmm.
remiss if I don't mention, like, what are your thoughts about Jim Plunkett not being
My man, the moment you said speaking of the Hall, I'm like, oh, you better say Jim Plunkett. I'll put it this way. The thing against Jim Plunkett, for those who don't know, there is a thing against Jim Plunkett. That is, Jim Plunkett did not play at a high level for long enough as a quarterback. Because remember, like Rich Gannon, Jim Plunkett was a late bloomer. The number one reason why Kurt Warner, yes, him, also the same concept. Kurt Warner only played I think 7 seasons. The only reason Kurt Warner is in the Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame, and Rich Gannon is not, is because Kurt Warner won a Super Bowl. That's it. Because Gannon had everything, all MVP, everything. The only thing he didn't have was Super Bowl. Jim Plunkett has 2 Super Bowls, 2 of them. That's it. That's all I've got. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're probably gonna let him in, but it's one of those things where they gotta drag it out because they feel like he might not necessarily belong in there. But then it's hard
Mm-hmm.
to deny the 2 Super Bowls, and not only that, the 2 Super Bowls are with the iconic franchise. So, and then there's also they're doing that out of spite too because it's the Raiders.
Because it's the
So
Raiders. Oh yes, because and the reason why I won't mention the doing it out of spite is that even if there were, I don't care anymore. That time is over. Give the man what he deserves, right? Jim Plunkett cannot be the only 2 Super Bowl winning quarterback that's not in the Hall of Fame. That doesn't even logically make sense if Kurt Warner is in the Hall of Fame. Kurt Warner has
yeah,
1 Super Bowl, right? With the Rams, just 1, not 2. He went to 2
yeah,
Super Bowls, but he got 1, right?
yeah. I think he has one with the Rams, with the greatest show on turf.
Jim Plunkett has 2.
Yes.
And Jim Plunkett is, I think, the only Hispanic quarterback to have 2 Super Bowls or any Super Bowl at all, right? NFL, Roger Goodell, get your people on it. There's a facts that if you're going to get to the Hall of Fame, we need facts, right? Okay, fact number 1, 2 Super Bowls. Kurt Warner's in, he should get in. Fact number 2, we're talking about one of the only, if not the only Hispanic quarterback to have a Super Bowl. All of this things matter. Let's get the boy in the Hall of Fame and let's move on with it. The question is, are they going to get him in before he dies or are they going to get him in after? Which
Right.
at this point, Raider Nation will love to see our greats get in before they pass on. We would love to see that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. We would love to see that. He deserves to be in. I think the Hall of Fame shouldn't. I don't think it's only numbers driven. It's the effect that you have on the league itself too.
Exactly.
And Jim Plunkett is an iconic player in this franchise. And that's not to say every iconic player in every franchise should be there, but if your franchise is iconic and they have an iconic player,
Player.
then
Yep.
then they should be in the Hall of Fame because they're a cornerstone of that franchise. Like
Franchise. Exactly.
you can't talk about the Raider franchise without
Without
talking
Jim
about
Plunkett.
Jim Plunkett. And we
Exactly.
don't look at the fact that he might have thrown more interceptions and touchdowns, or the record was whatever.
Brett Favre. I think Brett Favre threw more interceptions than touchdowns, or equal too. I think Brett Favre is was 50-50 interception to touchdown ratio.
And that's not going to stop him. It didn't anyway.
It didn't stop him, yeah, and he only got
Yeah.
1 Super Bowl, right? Again,
Yeah.
Jim Plunkett's got 2.
Yeah. So get on it. We need to get Jim Plunkett in the Hall of Fame
Mm-hmm.
for sure. But RD. So Max, you said they were building this defense thinking that maybe Max wasn't going to be here.
Uh-huh.
But Coach Robbie Leonard and Max have a real good connection. So I don't see how he would go to a scheme. Well, I can see it, but it's hard for me to see that he goes to a different scheme that wouldn't benefit Max when he said
Uh-huh.
part of the reason why he came here or he wanted to coach here was he wanted to coach Max. So do you think he has some tricks up his sleeves for Max and help him, game him to get open or move him around the D line or something like that?
I read an issue. Again, my answer here may disappoint you, but my answer is no. I don't think so. Because again, in a base 3-4 defense, you're not really, it's your linebackers that's where the story is happening, right? That's why in the 3-4 defense, you put your three biggest guys in front. Again, Pay, 265, right? Tonka Hemingway, I've said this, he's going to now be an edge in the 3-4 at 280. That's perfect. And then you put like Itasi in the middle, who's gonna probably slim down to around 350. Again, Max is 253, and his body's already been in the game for 8 years. You don't generally scheme anything up for a D line in a 3-4. Most of the action is coming from linebackers. So does Rob Ryan have some trick for Max Crosby? No, I don't. I don't think he does. I don't think he does. Now, does that mean he's not going to get some tricks depending on how the game is going? I do think that's very much possible, right? And as I would say this, if there has to be any tricks for Max Crosby, it's going to be the sit down tech and the standing up tech. That's where the trick is going to come from. Are we going to make you sit down on that line and bring the trick from there, or are we going to make you stand up and make you play that will backup position and then combine that with somebody else? The question is Max equally as good from standing up as opposed to on the ground with his hands on the ground? Because that does matter, right?
Yes. So what do you project for him in the sack total? Because that's the metric that a lot of people like to hold the standard for
Mm,
him. That 10 sacks. He hasn't had 10 sacks back to back seasons for a while. He did
yeah.
have 10 sacks last year. Do you think this is the year that he can have 10 sacks?
Uh, I think you're throwing me under the bus because again, I don't see I just don't see it personally. I'm not seeing
Mm.
where it's gonna come from. Right? We've been saying this. Max has no help. Max has no help. It's like here's an idea. Have you considered that because of who Max is, it's been harder to scheme the defense in a particular way because Max is very particular. He's not going to come off the field, right? He's not going to get off that left side because that's what he plays. I'm still saying I don't think he's going to get over 10. I know Red Nation is like, what are you saying, man? He's the GOAT. I'm like, I don't see where it's coming from.
There might be some people that agree with you. Everyone is
Yeah.
not on the Max Crosby bandwagon, especially right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think he has to be open to making some adjustments as far as his play time and things like that. I think he's going to have to take that into consideration. He did mix it around. He did mix it up a little bit where he lined up last year more so than normal, but not a whole lot. I think he has to be open to that as well. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're right. He's going to be kind of like stuck in quicksand because he's not going to be able to beat those guys
Exactly. Can you
a
give me
lot
one
of those
second?
times.
Can you give me a
Yeah,
second? I gotta greet people on my channel.
it's
Yo, Raider Nation Pawns, what up, man? Yo, Sacktown Raider Mike, what up? Yo, Sacktown. What? No, give me a second. Sacktown? Yo, are we talking D Sacktown? Because if you're D Sacktown Raider Mike, yo, welcome, man. Because I think I hear of you. I think I see you on a Q show. Let me know if that's you. But Raider Navy Pawns, welcome to the channel, welcome to the show, and we carry on.
yes, sir. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button.
Exactly. Please hit that like,
Get
hit that
us in that
subscribe.
AG and the algorithm. So, what players on defense do you think is standing out? Because you are right. The three
Mhm.
four is predicated on the linebacker, kind of like gap responsibility, gap
Yep.
assignment. You guys go ahead and lock up with the lineman, leave a gap for the running back to come through, and you meet him
Exactly.
there through the gap. So, we brought in a couple linebackers from Georgia. But
You see it.
who do you think, and what group of players are you that you have your eye on to help this defense go to the next level?
Perfect. So for me, the number one person I wanted the Raiders to bring in free agency was actually Nakobe Dean. Reason why is Nakobe Dean is one of the best blitzers in the NFL from the linebacker position. Nakobe Dean is 5'11", 239. He fits into gaps really well. And if you watch his plays, he blows plays up from that linebacker field there. He blows plays up. Now, when it comes to the actual 3-4 scheme, it is heavily linebacker based. Most of your action is going to happen with what's happening with the linebackers, right? That's the reason we brought two of them in. Those are our two most expensive signings this year, were both linebackers, with Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean, both of them from Georgia, who play together, right? Play together on the Georgia defensive team that's worldwide known from where they played, and then put that next to Eric Stokes, who also played on the same Georgia team. You're kind of starting to get the concept of we are trying to bring in people who just understand the 3-4-3 scheme from as far back as we can find. Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Eric Stokes. So the linebacker core is primarily what I'm looking at, because most of the action in the 3-4 is going to be coming from what they're doing. And if they're, I don't know how else to put it this way. If the linebacker core messes up, if the linebacker core is not on point, we're going to really struggle, because the 3-4 has one major weakness, and that's running. It's bad against the run. That's why you need three big people to show up those holes. But if those three people if they don't have those holes and the running back gets into that second lane, it's going to be just running back and open field with safeties trying to make a tackle against a 225-pound running back. So again, linebackers, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so are you concerned about his health though? Like he kind of have a history with injuries. Nakobe Dean does, and
Yeah,
we brought him in and we gave him a lot of money also.
I am concerned about that. However, a few things that I got that I do have on that. We do know, coaches do know that, we know that already. So if we brought him in, there has to be some notion of injuries are there. If we can get him for most of the season, I think we're good. I think Nakobe Dean generally will lose about four games a year. Again, keep in mind, Nakobe Dean is like 235 and he's 5'11". Nakobe Dean is just speed guy. He's running into things a lot. That's the reason for the injury. So whenever players get injured, it does have to do with the type of game they're playing. And his job is primarily, he's a missile. He's running into things. So that does create more chances for injuries. But I think you look at someone like Kane Sloan. I think there's a reason we brought him in, drafted him, and I think a lot of that has to do with linebacker. Again, not edge, linebacker. So we do have some options there if Nakobe Dean goes down. But again, I think if Nakobe Dean plays the entire season, that will be what's best for the defense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would agree. If he can play 80-90% of the
Exactly.
games, then we're winning.
Exactly.
That's a win for us.
Exactly.
And it'll also give us good continuity going into next year, because we also have them for next year as well, and then we can kind of see at that point, evaluate
Okay,
where to
let's talk
go
about
with
that.
them.
Let's talk about that, because segment here, I've said this before. If you look at Raider contracts, how many years was everybody getting the contracts for? 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 years is about the point where our rookies, our current veterans are all going to be needing contracts. Right now, I've said this, the Raiders are one of the youngest teams in the NFL. The reason we're giving 3-year contracts is we need to find out who the superstars are going to be in the next 3 years. So
Yeah,
the people who are getting contracts now, their contracts are going to be running out about the same time as our rookies are going to be looking for their next thing. For every player on the Raiders right now, it is a fight for who is going to get the most money in 3 to 4 years. Trust me, our rookies know that. There's a lot of money to be made because they know what the contracts look like. And they're going, Nakobe Dean, 3 years, Quay Walker, 3 years. Oh, shit. If I get my game together, at the end of that 3 year, I could be the one that gets the big contract that Nakobe Dean would get.
yeah.
Right? Think of someone like Jamar McCoy. If I'm a Jamal McCoy, I'm like, oh shit, y'all got 3-year contracts. My knee's bummed right now, but if I can put in the work in the next 3 years, guess what? They're gonna let one of you go and give me that big contract.
Yeah.
You need
And,
to
and
understand players want to feed their families, so they want to get paid. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, you're right. No, and Jamon, and like what you just said, shoot, if he can mess around and get one of those big contracts, that's a win because he wasn't going to be expected to play anyway.
Exactly.
So that would be a win. Even Tyler Lindenbaum, his contract
Tyler
is 3
Lindenbaum.
years, 3-year contract.
Exactly, exactly. And people, I'm telling one of the coolest things that you have to immediately start thinking about in football is who hasn't gotten paid yet. Because again, these guys want to drive those fancy cars. They see other players doing it. They want to drive those too. How do you get those fancy cars? Well, you're going to have to work your butt off for the first 3 to 4 years to get that big contract. That's what you're going to do. If players know this is why camp at battle is so big. One of the biggest camp battles right now is the cornerback position. I know we'll talk about it. The cornerback position. That is probably the biggest fight right now with the Raiders because everybody that is a rookie, a second year pro, or only have 2 to 3 year contracts, and they all want to get paid. So look out for that battle. It's going to be a really good one at camp.
So I'm concerned about the linebackers. We don't have really
Okay.
a lot of depth there.
Oh, we don't. Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
And so that could make things difficult for us as a team because having a first year coordinator, he's going to have his inherent bumps and bruises anyway, right?
Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh.
so so then if you're fighting but you don't have your best weapons,
Mm-hmm.
it makes it even more difficult, and then that learning curve becomes increasingly more difficult for him
Right.
because now what we have to do is we have to go out and address that like ASAP. So instead of going to get a D tackle or going to get a wide receiver, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to have to go find
And
some
a linebacker.
linebackers
Okay.
quickly.
So here's the question, right? After Quay Walker and Dean, who do you think is going to emerge as the next line? Exactly. And I'm looking at Tommy Heikenberg, right? He's a second year pro. He looks the part. He's got the size, 6'2", 234. He hasn't broken out yet, but I'm looking at him, right? And then you got Cody Lindenberg. Again, and I know you're shaking your head, and I love you shaking your head because people are talking about, oh, go get a receiver, go get a receiver. No, get me a fucking linebacker.
Right,
It's a desert out here, you
right.
know?
Exactly. We need that linebacker because the wide receiver is dang near the last piece that you need to add. You can add a wide receiver at any time.
And
Matter of fact, you can add a receiver too early too because if you get a wide receiver and the rest of your team ain't where it's
and
supposed to
ready.
be, and even if he balls out, only thing's gonna happen is he's gonna grow more frustrated and then he's gonna be more diva like because he's gonna think I'm doing my part. Why y'all ain't doing y'all part? Which in
Exactly,
theory is
exactly.
true, but he's not. But he's supposed to. If you add him once the team already moving, and you just need that one big play receiver or a big play receiver or a receiver that commands a lot of
Mm-hmm,
gravity,
mm-hmm,
then
mm-hmm.
when you add him, it's on like popcorn at that point. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's
Here's the thing.
difficult.
So when it comes to linebacker, I do think the coaches are thinking about it. And I'll say the name again, Kane, Cian Sloan,
Yeah.
Kian Sloan. He's listed as an edge. He's not an edge. He got 0 sacks in college. An edge, you don't draft an edge. You get 0 sacks in college. That doesn't make sense, right?
Right.
But he is 6'3", 239 pounds. That's a linebacker. I think we actually drafted him to be a replacement linebacker or to train him up. Again, you don't draft an edge, you get 0 sacks and make him an edge in the NFL, right? That doesn't
Good
make sense.
point.
But it does make sense to say, oh, you're a linebacker. We'll put you in the linebacker position, make you go downhill. I think he's supposed to be an answer for either the wheelbacker. What's the other side of the wheelbacker in the 3-4? We got the wheelbacker, and what's the other side?
Sam.
Oh, yeah, Will and Sam. Yeah, it's either going to be a Will or Sam backer. I think that's the plan there. Now, Cody Lindenberg, Cody Lindenberg isn't bad. I know we don't have a lot of depth there, but we do have some young, good players that could potentially, like Cody Lindenberg is also just 24 years old, also 6'2", 236. Good linebacker. So I think that is part of the plan. And right now, linebackers are not easy to find in free agency. Right? Linebackers are not easy to find, especially good quality linebackers are not easy to find because teams lock them up as soon as they have them. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're right. They're not hanging on trees for sure. So,
they're not.
um, yeah, it's gonna be tough because those two guys is like if they're on the field, we're in trouble. Sorry. I mean, they can have whatever upside that they can have,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
teams are gonna
Hmm.
scheme them and run them rampant. Because they even was running what's the linebacker name that went to Patriots?
Spillane, Robert Spillane.
Spillane, right? I love Spillane. He
I did too.
over 100 tackles every year. But the thing is, he was always tackling from
Up.
behind
eh,
because they always was gaming him. You know what I'm saying? But
exactly.
he was the only
Exactly.
one really out there doing it. So I could see more of that, but even worse because neither one of those guys are Spillane.
Exactly. But again, I think the coaching staff knew that. That's why they brought in Bo Dean and Quay Walker, right?
Yes, yes,
Because in that 3-4, again, having two stout middle linebackers and one of them is a freaking missile, perfect. Because again, if Dean goes down, we could just switch back to a 4-3 defense and just make Walker
facts,
there. So we do have
facts,
options, and that's the point
facts.
here.
That's a
The
good.
number
That's good.
the number one thing, exactly, the number one thing you got to keep in mind when it comes to Rob Ryan, and because when he
Rob
said three
Leonard.
four, I
You
was
keep
Rob
calling
Leonard.
Rob. I
I
like
love
Rob
Rob
Ryan
Ryan though.
too.
I
Yeah,
love
I do
Rob
like
Ryan.
Rob
My
Ryan too.
God, I love Rob Ryan. But when you're talking about Leonard, I think what you got to keep in mind is versatile. He learned under whom? Flores, right?
Yeah,
He learned under I think the Steelers as well. They are
yeah,
those are 3-4 defenses, but it's really more the versatile defenses. There's a
and
lot of
Kaufman.
movement. There's a lot of movement.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, you're right. So if it does go down, we do have options. I didn't think about that, but because I haven't
Exactly.
really tried to think too much into the injury, but I am concerned about it because
I am
if
too.
in the event that does happen, then what happens to our defense? Because if Max is not going to be a force multiplier
Hmm.
on defense, and we're just going to be looking for him to do like spot work, like step up in spot situations and our
Hmm.
linebackers aren't there, then what are we relying on? Because we'll be relying on our secondary, which is very young. And let's start at the
Let's
corner
talk about that.
position.
We're gonna talk about that too.
Let's talk about the corners, which is
Let's do
probably
it.
the who's who. And it's only really for one spot because E. Stokes has one spot locked
That's one
down.
spot. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
but the question is, who's going to lock that second one down? And we know we want it to be
What's your
Jamal
answer?
McCoy.
Okay,
But the
that's your
thing is,
answer.
do you want? That's not my answer. That's what
Okay.
the nation wanted to be. But I wouldn't want to throw him out there already and expect him to go full tank right now because
Uh huh. Uh huh.
I just don't think we need to do that. We do have other players that we could stick there first, before we give him a chance like that.
Uh huh.
Because he can come in and if he show flashes and it's just obvious, we put him there. But don't stick him there and then find out we're stressing the situation more than we had to. But
Yep.
I like to hear what you think, uh, as far as the corner situation.
Most ideal situation for me right now is Eric Stokes, who has got one down. I want Darian Porter to figure it out on the other side. I really do. The
Wow.
reason the reason why is we give Eric Stokes a 3-year contract. Actually, I want to trade Eric Stokes in one next year. I do.
What?
I want to trade him next year.
Wait. What?
I know. I'm
What?
crazy like that.
What? Wait.
Okay.
So look.
Go,
Go
okay,
ahead.
yeah. You can rebuttal. I love this. You can rebuttal. So I do want to trade Eric Stokes next year because what I'm hoping happens is that Jamar McCoy proves to be our number one because he's capable of it, and then he replaces Eric Stokes, who gets traded. Darian Porter then becomes the second because I think overall Jamar McCoy will be a better corner than Darian Porter if he's healthy, right? And then Ezekiel Masses continues to battle Darian Porter, and we see which one of those two will emerge as the next big one. But everything does hang on Jamal McCoy if he is healthy, because if you look at his tape, he is one of the best corners out of college in the past while. The man is really good. That injury is scary though. So if he's healthy, that's the goal. And yes, I want to trade Eric Stokes in like a year. I
So
know.
so
Look,
so
here's
look,
why. Eric Stokes will not be the next Charles Wilson for the Raiders. He won't be.
no, no, no. I don't think that.
But
But
Jamal
see,
McCoy can be.
it's certain though, because he only gonna give us a limited time. Um, it's only certain positions that when you find a player there, whether they're good or
Hmm.
great, you want to keep them there. Left
Yep.
tackle is one of them. Corner is one of
Connor is
them.
one of them. Yep.
And I would say quarterback is probably one of them. Like if you have a good to
No
great
one lets go
quarterback,
for
you
the
might want
quarterback.
to keep him as
Yeah,
long
no
as
one
you
lets go.
can.
Yeah.
But so the thing is, we've been trying to find a corner for a long time. I mean,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
we've been having problems with both corners.
Hmm.
So I would agree that E Stokes is probably not high on the radar as corner because he kind of just emerged last year enough to
Yep.
get a contract, right? Because in my mind this year, I'm like, oh, they're gonna test him and make him earn this money this year, and then we're gonna see parts of his game that we didn't see last year. And I hope
Right.
that the Raider Nation don't lose their rig over it if he get beat for some touchdowns, right? Because we didn't see that last year because they was too busy throwing on Caillou and Porter, which brings me to Porter. Like Porter ain't even gonna be in this mix. I don't even
Hmm.
know why
Hmm.
y'all even bringing Porter name into this because now he's among other big cats. He's a project. His athleticism and
Right.
he fits the frame. But the thing about it is now the competition level from last year is increased. The secondary masses, he can come in and outplayed Porter. Um,
Masters has one really good quality that may really play. Masters is good at getting interceptions. If you watch his tape, there's a few of his tapes. I'm like, I don't know how you ended up right where the ball's going, but he seems to have a really good understanding of where the ball is going on the field on his side.
mhm.
Don't discount that because if it's like this man is getting 4 interceptions a season, and it's as a rookie or even as a second year pro, then we're talking, oh yeah, no, put him in there. Here's the thing:
Yeah,
Eric Stokes doesn't get interceptions, right?
right.
It's also because they don't really throw his way. But I think once it starts throwing his way, we might start getting some weaknesses, if you may.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. And he's already 27. Look, he wants a bigger contract, right? If Eric
yeah.
Stokes puts in one great season, he's going to demand another contract.
Well, yeah, he is.
I know he's on a
He is.
contract, but he's going to demand another contract. At that point, I do think you trade him for a second, maybe even a third, but I think you can get a second if he does really well and get that back. And the reason why is at 27, unless we win like 8 games, we're ready to make a push. I don't really want to pay that big money for a 27-year-old who's gonna ask for more money because you
Well,
know he's going to.
yeah, 27 is not that old in the league, and I get it's right there on the
It's not.
cusp before you turn the corner to start falling down off your
Mm-hmm.
apex. I get
Mm-hmm.
that. You are not no longer at your prime, and you're at your
Right.
prime value for trading. Because it would, from a business aspect, it is smart to get
Mm-hmm.
rid of them
Mm-hmm.
right there, and you can probably go get a younger, more solid corner than Stokes because
Yep.
like I get it. And Jamal McCoy, I'm not really not ready to put the house on him, even if he come in and play good for a while. He's just gonna be like that bargaining chip that we always have in
Mm-hmm.
the event that we can just play, we just ride that as long until the wheels fall off, basically. And,
Exactly. Exactly.
and hopefully it buy time for like the masses to get a little bigger and maybe he find his way, his game. Maybe it buy time for Porter to get a
Mm-hmm.
little bit better. But I don't think he's in
Exactly.
contention to starting. But I need to see what other corners we have because
So So Sacktown Raider says this, right? Sacktown Raider, he agrees with you. He says, I don't understand the logic in wanting to trade any player next year when we haven't seen what he does, what he can do. And yeah, all of this does depend on what he's able to do. Again, keep in mind though, last year Eric Stokes didn't get any interceptions or sacks. So there was no major takeaways, right? It just means that team generally didn't struggle beating our defense, so he wasn't really fully tested. Now, Eric Stokes has also been known to have a really bad injury history, right? So again, next year, assuming he can put all of that together, depending on how well it goes, we might keep him. I think we have younger corners that we're really hoping would break out, and that's my hope too. So it may not be extremely logical to want to trade somebody next year, but there are things that I'm willing to do, and I think trading Eric Stokes is one of those things that I'm willing to do if I had to. Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm not big on. See, it's hard enough to build chemistry and synergy on a team, and then
Yeah.
once you get it, I don't like taking major pieces off like that because
Right.
really you don't know how far the drop off will be. Because even if he's like a marginal player, what he means to the team might be even more than his value.
Right.
So that's why
Right. Right.
sometimes
Right.
you got to sometimes you got to give them kind of players that money that they ask for. Maybe not all of it, but just give them more than you anticipated giving them.
Exactly.
Because had we not went out and got the safety that we got in Stoops, we would have been looking at, dang, we could have probably spent that money on Merrick because then we wouldn't have had to worry about the safety like that. But but Carolina threw so much money at him, we was like, we can't do that. But now, had we would have really considered it, then you kind of you shore up certain positions. Now, these are the corners that we have. We have Porter,
Yep.
Stokes, Teron Johnson, Jamal McCoy, D. Cam Richardson, Gritty Vance Jr., Masses, Caleb Alford,
Here's
Traden
the thing.
Stoops.
Here's the
A
number
lot
one
of them
problem.
aren't boundary corners. So
Yeah, we're
actually,
not going to keep all of those guys, right? Even
right.
this season, we're not keeping all of those guys.
Yeah. So actually, Porter does have a chance to get some playing time because it's really the only boundary corners we have is him, Stokes, Jamal McCoy, maybe D Cam, maybe Greedy Vance, Hezekiah Masses. But like you said, all of them not going to make it. I don't know. Like I
Also,
just saw.
you got to keep this in mind, right? Corners do move around a lot in the NFL. The reason why is corners is a fluctuating position. Corners actually fluctuate every year when it comes to their actual playing. Again, Eric Stokes did well last year. He might not do as well this coming year because corners is going to go up and down a lot. And corners do get traded quite a bit because they are one of the positions in the NFL that teams generally want to do something different with. Almost every year, a team wants to see a different build of their cornerbacks, right? And the Rams are a prime example, right? Think about this. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl and they promptly lost all of their corners. They all got taken. The Rams took a bunch of people's corners this year. They just took a whole bunch of people's corners from the same team. They just signed all of them. Yeah, they just signed all of them. Yeah, Chiefs lost all of their corners. The Eagles also lose their corners. So corners do move around quite a bit. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we actually might rely on McCoy a little bit more than I thought because because I'm like we gonna have to put him out there. I did see them talk about his injury, and I'm confident that he can go out there and play. Now the question is for how long.
For how long? Exactly.
And no one knows that, so we're gonna just ride that thing until we see start smelling brake dust. We're like, wait a minute here, slow down. But I think we don't stick him out there from game one though. I think we gradually work him into the system.
And all of this really does bank on this. If Eric Stokes has a great year, he is going to ask for a raise. Because Eric Stokes hasn't really had a big first contract year. Every NFL player wants it, right? If you give them money and they do well, they want more money. So just look out for it. If Eric Stokes has a great year, he's going to ask for more money. And at that point, do you want to pay him, depending on how well he does? And again, it also depends on how well your younger corners do. That will determine if you want to trade someone like Stokes or pay him more money. Again, all of it does hinge on how the season goes. But me personally, after this season, I am going to look into possibly moving Stokes to get more capital. Personally.
Yeah, that's a hot take.
That's high tech. Yeah, yeah.
That's a hot take. What you guys think in the chat? What's up to the chat? Look, I was on StreamYard and I didn't have the comment section open, and I was like, dang, where everybody at? But what's up with We the People? Frank Webb, Willie Wayne, Sacktown Raider Mike.
Oh damn, y'all be here talking.
What's up with you, bros? Let me see who else. Raider Jason, I saw him. Raider Ryan. I saw a few people. Sacktown Raider Mike. I didn't know you had a show, bro. So I want to come on there one time. Well, pause, but you know. So
yeah, I do want. I want to know what y'all think of that, because a lot of my thoughts also comes from I didn't see a lot of Eric Stokes last year on the. I really didn't.
That's what I was gonna ask. That's what I was gonna ask. So yeah,
I really didn't see him a lot last year. Right.
That's good. When you don't see your corners a lot, that's a good thing.
Well, the other side is if you see your corner a lot, it also could mean that they're doing a lot of breakups and getting you turnovers. And again, Eric Stokes didn't get any turnovers last year.
Yeah, right? Because it really wasn't going on his side though, because it was too big.
Because there was a weaker side, right? So now, if the other side is not as weak, what are we going to see? Again, it depends on what we see this year. But keep those things in mind. Eric Stokes did not get a lot of turnovers last year. He is getting up there in age. He does have an injury past. You know.
Okay, so here's the good Raiders hot take that we look into moving Stokes next year. So I said how we gonna do the ice cubes.
Oh, ice Kubiak. Yeah, let's go.
Got Kubiak. Like if he needs to cool that takedown all the way, it's 4 ice cubes. But if you think it's hot, but it just needs to cool down just a little bit, like 25%, that's 1 ice cube. And if you 50-50, if it's 50-50, put 2 in there, or 3. But for me, what I'm going to say about trading East Stokes, for me, depending on how he plays, I can see the business side of it. It'd be a good business decision. But I'm going to give it 3 ice cubes. Okay, I got to give it 3 ice cubes. I like Red. I liked him before people knew who he was. I kind of like how he was, the vibe he was giving. He was an underachiever. They thought he was going to be this level corner. He was injured. He came back.
Same story as Nicole Bean. Almost the same story as Nicole Bean. Yeah.
Almost. And he just have to do his part and not get injured. So
exactly.
And I think that he liked being here, and I don't think he'll break the bank if he stay here. So I think he's going to be a Raider for a minute.
In my chat, let me know what you guys think too. How many ice creams you giving that take? Do I need to cool down, or do I got something here? Right.
Right. I don't think you far fetched.
Oh no. I mean, again, this is football, right? I mean. Facts are corners do move around a lot. They're one of the positions that teams do move around a lot. It's just kind of the thing with corners, right?
Yeah, it is.
You wouldn't rate them based on Pete's 3. Oh, so you wouldn't rate them based on Pete? Yeah, I wouldn't rate them based on Pete's system as well. Although, look, man, Pete's system won a Super Bowl, so let's not hate on Pete's system too much. It did win a Super Bowl.
Right. Well, his system wasn't so bad. It was just the fact that he was colliding with Patrick Graham and hijacking the defense.
And hijacking, exactly.
Yeah, so that's what the issue was there, because his defense was working. The defense was just exhausted because the offense was always going 3 and out. And then the defense did a turnover and the offense turned it right back over. Like the defense can't sustain itself if those are the environment and the conditions that it play under consistently. So it'll break any defense. So,
now that we're moving to a more fluid, I love Eric Stokes, though. I really do. Again, I don't really, outside of Georgia, no one really knows him because he's been injured so much, right? So we don't know what he has in the tank. We really don't. And again, if it turns out the man has a lot in the tank, just expect for him to ask for more money. But if he does have a lot, pay the man, right? Because I'll tell you, if a player is breaking out, you pay them accordingly. But I'm just gonna say, depending on how the performance of the year goes, I would not be surprised if he's one of the people the Raiders move after this coming season. I wouldn't be surprised.
Three ice cubes, three ice cubes, three ice cubes. No,
Hey,
now, Webb, I will agree though. It's hard to evaluate a team when they're on a bad team and the scheme and everything is wrong and whatnot. I agree with that, right? But you also
yep,
see what kind of player you do have when things are so chaotic. How do they perform? Let me give you an example. Like how bad our O line was. No matter how bad our O line was, the one thing I could consistently um uh, rely on is DJ Glaze not getting
DJ
injured.
Glaze.
So he didn't get injured. So regardless of how his performance was, because he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like a bottom tier lineman, he
He
just
wasn't.
played. He never just turned. He hasn't turned the corner yet. But the thing about it, and that's when the old regime kind of plays a role in the development part of it. But when little things like that shows me, he's probably not going to be an injury prone type person. So even if he do get an injury in a year or two, I'm not going
Uh
to
huh.
start talking about he's injury prone because he's already shown himself not to be that. So that's an example of that, what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So here, who do you think next year after this season? Who do you think we can move? Who do you think has a chance to be moved? Or based on good performance or bad performance? That coming next season, who we moving? Because we're moving someone, right?
I don't I
I,
don't
I,
know because I don't
I
even know
know.
who we got right now. But let me see if just looking at maybe
Look,
like
keep in mind, we were
contractually.
willing. We were willing to move Max. We were willing
Well,
to move Max.
no, see, we were willing to move Max not because of the not because of the business side of it. Of
Hmm.
like it was because of uh, Max was like, we're not doing nothing.
We're
We're
not.
not
Yeah.
making no moves. Like I don't know what we're doing. Y'all look like y'all know what y'all doing. Like
Oh, naughty,
I'm
naughty.
trying to
You're
win.
talking bad about Glaze.
I'm trying to play like some meaningful games, and y'all over here playing. So can y'all shop me or something? It's not because I want to go. It's because I see that you guys are being incompetent, and then so then that now that they're approved, their the head coach hire brings competency
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
leaps and
Hmm.
bounds. So now I'm sure Max have a change of heart now because now the fire is lit again because he knows his fire was going out playing under all these
Perfect.
regimes, and
Perfect.
then
So let
he's going head first for everyone. It was AP like I'm going head first
mhm.
for AP. I'm going head first for all these coaches, and they coming up, they just tearing down the franchise, and I'm next because they've been trying to trade him before, like for the last couple years.
Mhm. So let me put it this way on Eric Stokes. Eric Stokes underrated team is on the hottest seat. Put it that way, because Eric Stokes has the most competition that's chasing him, and they're all much younger than he is. And one of them could be a major breakout in Jamal McCoy. So I'll put it that way. Eric Stokes has the most to prove on the Raiders defense. If that, and I think that works, right? Because he's the only one I can think of is will get like, yeah, you got to show us something. I think he has the most to prove. What do you think on that?
I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be fine. I think he's just gonna. I think he's gonna like being here. I think he's gonna be tested a little bit more, and then he's gonna have to prove himself a little bit because we seen you play good, uh,
Right.
and so now it's gonna kind of be that back and forth. Because if you come out and have like a gang of picks and lock down, then yeah,
Uh
you're gonna
huh.
be
Uh
asking for
huh.
the bag, and then we're gonna be like, well, is it worth it? How
Is it
much is
worth
it?
it?
Can we get
Exactly.
the hometown discount? Because we got to pay all these other players too,
Uh huh. Can we talk
So
you back
then,
into okay, because my point is this: we're gonna have to give him an extension because a
yeah,
3 year contract really is a 2 year contract because that last year isn't good. There's not gonna be money in that last year, so we will
yeah,
have to give him an extension, and that's what I've been saying about the contracts that we're giving. They're all 3 years because we need to know who needs to. So people need to prove themselves. Who wants to go with the Raiders to win a Super Bowl in the next 3 to 4 to 5 years? We got to find that out. This next 2 years, that's the time. Who are the foundations of this team? And when a new coach comes in, that's what you got to think about, right? You got to find your foundation guys. Who are you building this team around? We already know that on defense, maybe it's Max Crosby now, but it wasn't Max Crosby when the offseason starts, right? Because right now, tell me, Raider Nation, on defense, who do you think we're going to build the defense around right now, if you had to say?
Well, but when Max left, it was going to be built around the Kobe Dean and Quay Walker.
Exactly.
And Quiddy Pay.
Exactly.
But now it's built around everybody, kind of.
Everybody. Yeah, right. It seems like before it was this people. Now that Max came back, now it's like it's everyone.
It's like everybody. And that's
but if it's everyone, good. But if it's everyone, right, someone needs to emerge. So who's going to emerge? So that's the question. Who do you think is going to emerge on the defense?
This is who I think is going to emerge on the defense. I think Traden Stukes is going to emerge on the defense.
Yes. Love it.
I think Dalton Johnson is going to emerge on the defense.
The two safeties.
I think Palomaro going to reemerge back on the defense.
I will give you one name. I'll give you one name that I think will emerge majorly. Ernest Hemingway.
Nothing right.
Tonka Hemingway.
Yes, I like Tonka a lot.
I do too, and especially, and again, in that 3-4 defense, 280 becomes a really good size to play edge in the 3-4. In the 4-3, that's a twinner DT, defensive tackle. In the 3-4, that's an edge, and I'm telling you, the man has got the size, he's got the height, he's got the strength. Tonka Hemingway, that's the guy that I'm looking for to emerge.
Yeah, I think he had like 4 sacks last year too.
He did.
In limited time. He was a monster out there.
A monster, exactly.
Okay, yes.
Now imagine that same monster in a 3-4, because he can take on 2 people if he needs to. But if you skim him to give him a little bit of a gap, I think he could emerge as somebody who gets up to 10 sacks this year.
Oh,
yeah, that's another hot thing. Put that down.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. That's another hot take right there. That's another hot take. Hold on.
I say 10 sacks.
10 sacks? I'm gonna
I say 10 sacks.
I'm gonna get out 2.
Let me know, chat. Let us know what you think, chat. 2.
I'm gonna give it 1 ice cube. I'm gonna give it 1 ice cube.
Ice cube. Okay.
I'm gonna give it 1 ice cube because I kind of agree with you. I think he might end up with like 8 sacks for real.
Okay, we got 8. I said 10. He says 8. I do have my reasons. There are reasons because when you look at him, you're going 280 is perfect for an edge in 3-4. And you put that right next to Quiddy Pay, who's 265, who's also good. Quiddy Pay also good as a run stopper, and Quiddy Pay gets around 8 sacks a year. I'm just saying. And
he had 4 last year, so that's what had me.
I'll hold his Tucker Hemingway. I think it's like 24.
Tonka, I don't think he's that old.
He's not. I think it's like 24, dude. Let me see. Tonka. I got him open. He's 24.
Yeah, see?
I'm just saying.
So what do you guys think in the chat? How many ice cubes you get at? That's a hot take there, right there. How many ice cubes is that Tonka's going to get 10 sacks? So, like I said, I think about 8. So I'm gonna give it 1 ice cube because I like that hot take.
Tucker Hemingway played 1, 2, 3, 4. He played 6 games last year.
Right, and had 4 sacks.
Now, the 2 sacks were in the last game. That's fine, but he did get one against the Broncos, and he did get one against the Giants, and that's just sacks, right? We're not. He's getting other stuff as well. So again, if you're looking at what we're looking at, that's my pick for a breakout.
Oh, Webb giving it 3 ice cubes. He's like, I don't know about 10
okay,
sacks.
so you think we need to cool down? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Then I'm gonna ask you, Frank. Who do you think is gonna be the breakout star? Who do you see as the breakout star on defense? We're talking on defense.
I think another person who's gonna break out is mental reps. My boy, mental reps, Kieran Crawford.
Kieran, oh,
I think he's gonna play well.
my
But
brother, my
I
brother.
think, but I
Okay,
think out of all
I,
those players, I think it's gonna be Stooks that's going. But I think everybody is on to him now because I know when they drafted him, they did not like that pick. A lot of people did not like that pick, and I was like, "Look at that pick." I didn't know a
uh-huh.
lot about him at the time, but I liked the fact we went safety because I know we needed a free safety.
I'm gonna give you two ice cubes, and the reason I'm giving you two ice cubes on that is because I think he needs one more year for a breakout to
Mm,
happen. Because he didn't start playing football till senior year in high school. He's got really good size. I think he's gonna put on a little bit more muscle in his first year. Because I also say this: when players go from college to the NFL, they have more resources, especially
yeah.
without INL. Because all of our players right now didn't grow up in the INL time. So they get more money to get trainers, to eat right, to get in regiments. They will gain weight. They will gain muscle. I think next year, Crawford is going to be pushing around 260 because it's 253 right now. Put some muscle on him, get that big boy out there. I think next year we're going to get something. But hey, if he starts early, that's awesome.
Okay, so you give it two. You give my take two ice
I give
cubes.
you two. Yo,
Okay,
Frank is
I can
feeling it though.
see that.
Frank, that's Frank guys too. You think he also thinks that's gonna be a breakout, so that's good, right?
I can see that too. I can see that being like he's a year away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think Kieran gonna mess around have like about 7, 8 sacks
And seven, eight
though.
sacks, 7, 8
Going
sacks.
around that corner going crazy.
Uh-huh. Because he has enough strength to really push in that 3-4 bit. Again, because the 3-4 base basically means every first down, we're gonna be in a 3-4. That's generally how to understand that. Every first down, we're gonna be a 3-4. I think that's a time for somebody like Keon to just wreck plays.
Yeah,
So
that's what I think. That's what his main priority is gonna be wrecking
okay,
plays.
we got another Darian Porter support, right? Someone saying
Yeah.
I hope he again, and that's what I say. If Darian Porter breaks out, that's gonna be really good for the Raiders.
So what do you think about our safeties? Because we have Chin, we have Paul Mao, then we brought in the two new guys, then we got Teron Johnson for like a nickel back.
Nickelback, yeah.
And so what do you think about those guys? Because we sound like we have depth there now.
We do. Two of them are rookies, though. But you know
Right.
what? Stooks is an older rookie, so Stooks is definitely starting free safety.
Hmm.
I'm locking that down. I think Stooks will be your starting free safety.
Yeah.
Uh, Here's the thing with Palamau. He really does fit 5 year, 26 years old, 6'3", 204. Yeah, that's your strong safety. I think it's going to be starting strong safety. I don't think Johnson will be able to keep up with him quite yet.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna start. Not yet.
And I'm not sure the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders going to focus a lot on box safeties because again, in that 3-4, I don't really think you want to do a lot of box safety because you got to cover those deeps, right? Because in a 3-4, you have more linebackers. If those guys get beat, you're screwed in the back end. So I think Palamau will be the strong safety starting with Dalton Johnson coming in as a backup. Dalton Johnson is 5'11", 198. Yeah, I like Palamau better as a strong safety, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing about it, like you said, the guys when they find that NFL body that second year, like look at Genty. He came in and he was in good shape, but do you see him now?
Now, exactly.
Like,
And we're
like,
talking Genty. He's had resource since college, but again, not enough. In the NFL, you just get a lot more resource, right? So go
yeah.
ahead.
Even like Travis Hunter. Y'all see how much he's bulked up? Travis Hunter then bulked up because it's that second year he got injured this first year
Yep.
because them is grown men paying other grown people bills out there. They out there going, they big dudes. Those are
Exactly.
real
And then they
grown men.
realize, I think people realize when they get in, like, oh, I'm going up against tackles. This dude's a 325 pounds of pure aggressive muscle.
Right.
When you're going up against that, the best example that I can get, what's his name? The Houston Texans defensive tackle, one of my favorite football players right now, defensive end. Um, he was drafted 3 years ago, Houston Texans.
Oh,
Will something.
Will's. No, what keep on saying?
I yeah.
Hold on.
I was hoping the Raiders would draft him when he was drafted, and we didn't. And you'll see my point once we get the name. You'll see the point that I'm making. Trey Tucker bulked up too. Exactly. Right? So that's the thing to understand. In the NFL, young players do bulk up as they get older. Will Anderson Jr. Look at Will Anderson Jr. Freshman year. Go look at him now.
What to call Howard, but yeah, Will Anderson
Dude,
Jr. Yeah.
Will Anderson, he looks like a tank now. Right? So you got to keep that in mind. Players will bulk up. So Keon Crawford standing at 253, he's going to go up to around 260, which is the perfect size for an edge. So you got to factor that in. Yeah, I'm sorry. Will Anderson is my favorite end right now because I'm telling you, that dude is about to have a massive breakout.
Yeah.
Right? And if you look at him, he looks the part. So prototypes do matter big time in the NFL. And I hate to say it, but Max Crosby does have a cap. And it's mostly because Max Crosby is 153. So he's got a cap. Will Anderson Jr. has a much higher ceiling because he's just so much bigger. And it just looks like a tank moving through the field. And this is the reason why Genty is going to have a breakout year. I'm telling you, I've said it before. Genty is stronger. He's faster, maybe not by a whole lot, but he's just more of everything now. So,
well, this run scheme is going to definitely help him because he's not going to be getting hit in the backfield.
In the backfield, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Trey Tucker is another person that I'm really excited about because he stands at 5'9", but if you look at Trey Tucker, that man will be a reception machine. He's big, he's low to the ground, he's not going to get hit a lot, and he's fast. Another breakout will be Trey Tucker, right? And Genty has a fullback now.
That's a real good point. That's a real good point that he has a fullback now, too. That's crazy. Now. That's crazy work. It's gonna be
the Raiders are going
a lot
to be
going on.
We're going to be so much fun to watch this year because if you look at every position of the Raiders, there's at least one person that's making you go, "Oh man, this is juicy." Like every position, we got someone that makes you really excited, right?
So okay, how long till we get to the Super Bowl? I'm not gonna say win it, but how long are we gonna take for us to get there?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. That's what I say, chat. Let me know what you guys think. That's a great question. That is a great question. I said 3 years. Why 3 years? Mendoza's gonna play most of the season, not all, probably most all of next season. I don't know how to take. I think Mendoza's going to play most of this season. I think Mendoza will play most of this season. That's another hot take.
No.
This one just started for me as of yesterday because I heard something yesterday that made me go, yeah, that would make sense.
He gonna play more games than Kirk Cousins?
I think so. Right now, I'm thinking that. And this came from Locked On Raiders from Q.
Mm-hmm. You know,
I drink water to that. I need to cool down. I'll cool down a
bit. If Mendoza plays more games than Kirk Cousins, then we should have did that with Aiden O'Connell.
Oh, shit. Give me a second. My headphones must have. Sorry, my headphones are back. What were you asking?
If Mendoza plays more games than Kirk Cousins, we could have did that. We could have did that with Aiden O'Connell. We didn't have to bring in Kirk Cousins for that.
I get it.
We could have just let Aiden O'Connell start and then let him go and get broke up something real proper like, and then put in Mendoza. That's what we was gonna do.
I know.
But I don't think Kirk Cousins is gonna let that happen. he got a chip on his shoulder so big. I'm talking
Absolutely,
about it
absolutely,
so big that he came in talking like he'd been starting here for a hell of years already.
exactly.
And one thing I thought about is the difference between him and Mendoza is like Tyler Lindenbaum, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
If 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 Kirk Cousins says something to Linderbaum, like about an adjustment or whatever,
mm-hmm,
whatnot, Linderbaum
mm-hmm.
is going to be more prone to listen to him because he's like been in the league like 3 times longer than him. But then the opposite is the dynamic between Linderbaum and Mendoza. Mendoza is going to rely on Linderbaum to do the
Exactly.
protection schemes in the
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
beginning, like versus where Kirk Cousins would be like, "Hey, I know normally we roll it on this, but I like this because they always seem to do whatever right here," and then he's going to listen to it. So it's a little bit different dynamic, and that's why I say things like that is so monumental. That's why I know that Kirk Cousins is going to start game one, and I think he'll be able to survive more than 6 games or even 8 games.
So let me say a little chat real quick in this type. Then I'm going to answer that.
Hmm.
So my number one reason for thinking Mendoza's going to play more games is actually the O line. Because here's the thing, guys, the O line is a problem. If the O line is working, if it shows that it's working early, then it becomes a game of why not just put in the Ricky Knob behind the O line that's really working and just get that chemistry going early. Look, with Cousins, without Cousins, the chances of us winning the Super Bowl this year is none, right? It's close to zero.
No, it's not. It's
It's not.
not
It's
close to zero.
okay. Here's what I say: if it isn't close to zero, Cousins is playing really well. But if that O line is working early, and look, Cousins just got a chip on his shoulder, but he's getting up there in age. I think if that O line is working well, somebody's going to convince somebody in the organization to just say, hey, look, let's just put in Mendoza. The O line is working. He won't
No.
get injured. Let's start that process early.
What's his name? What's Kubiak is not that he not that gullible.
Yeah.
He not that gullible to change courses like that. See what happened is if let's say Kirk Cousins come in and do Kirk Cousin things, right?
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
then
mm-hmm.
first of all, our line is not going to be average. I'm trying to tell y'all that right now. I've seen Kubiak
Okay.
take I've seen Kubiak take individual players
That's a
that
good
was
point.
mid to low and make all them put them together and made them formidable. We
That's a good
got
point.
3 linemen and 2 in the chamber at least that's ready to go. And you telling me that Kubiak ain't rubbing his hands like Birdman? Like,
Okay.
hey, check this out.
Okay.
We about to run it up. And we got a Genty. And in the event that they do act a little too aggressive, we can throw it to Bowers on
Mm,
them. Come on, man.
mm,
I think it's the most weapons that
mm.
Kubiak ever had. That's why we gonna see something we ain't never seen out of
I'm
this
giving those
Raiders
checks.
offense.
I'm giving those checks, man. All of that. I'm giving you checks for all of that. Okay, because with that scenario, I'm down because at that point, we're talking at least 9 to 10 games winning, and like halfway through the season, it's looking like yo, we might have something here. Where the nation is getting hype and showing up for games, and we keep
Right.
Cousins in there to see where we're going. Okay,
Because if we start winning home
okay.
games, then
Oh,
we'll start having that love and feeling. So
that's another 10. That's another 10.
like Frank Weber said, he asked the question, do I think Cousins have something to prove? Absolutely. His whole career has been
Mm,
proving something because he's never really found a home that he landed at, and he played good at this place, and then something happened. He
mm,
played
mm,
good. He came in and backdoored his way in with Washington because of the RG3 thing, and then they ended up getting rid of him. So he never really been somewhere where he can just say, "This is my
it's
franchise,"
my
and
franchise.
he know this is not going to be his franchise. But what he does know is he's playing for another contract, and if you don't know another thing about him, you know he's playing for them contracts. So he's going to play well because he's playing for another contract. So he has that on his shoulder. Then he got the whole Raider Nation, not the whole, but a lot of them talking about, well, we just gonna put him out there and let him get hurt so we
Yeah,
can put
yeah,
Mendoza in there. And everybody overlooking Kirk Cousins like Kirk Cousins ain't threw for 4,000 yards 7 times. You know how
yeah.
difficult that is? The
You
only
got a
quarterbacks
point
who
there.
do it more is like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Like, come on.
You got a
So
point there. You got a point there.
he got a chip. He has a chip on his shoulder, man. Absolutely,
Yeah.
he does.
And this will
And
be his last ride. This will technically be his last ride.
this would be his last ride, and nothing would be
Yeah.
more gratifying than making that young boy sit on the bench for 2 years because the Raiders
They
was
can,
cooking.
yeah. Um, 2 years. You really think Mendoza's going to be on the bench for
No,
two
I
years?
don't think I don't
Okay,
think that. What I'm saying is his mentality is if
is
I
keep
can
him on the
make this
bench.
boy sit down for 2 years, because let's say we win 7, 8 games this year, right?
Hmm.
So now it's a true quarterback competition going into the camp next year because we'll be like, well, he is 40, right? And so then
Yeah,
we got Mendoza. We know this is his franchise, right? We just ain't gave him the keys to the Lambo yet, right?
yeah,
So then it'll be a true competition in camp because by this time he'll be then got a year worth of knowledge under his belt, and then
yeah.
her cousin might beat him out again, right?
Right.
So then, if we go into the season and so we go from 7 or 8 wins and we win 10 or 11 and go to the playoffs, we gotta kind of ride Kirk Cousins until he falls
Kirk
off.
James. Okay, here's a question for you. Let's say Cousins does do good this year, and next year we're having a conversation of him starting again because he's that good. Do you think Raider Nation is actually going to? You think Raider Nation will panic about Mendoza if Cousins actually beats him out 2 years in a row?
Yes, they're gonna panic.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
they're
I'm
gonna
like,
panic.
yeah, and we gotta factor that in because at that
Yeah,
point the question, because again, the reason why I'm changing my mind about starting boy this year is the last several quarterbacks who were drafted first, they've all started in their first year. So
yeah.
we're saying Mendoza is going to be the only quarterback in the past 5, 6 years who gets drafted in the first overall and doesn't start. I think that's going to make some people nervous, right?
Forget them.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Forget
I
them.
can see that. I can see that. Yeah. Trade.
Forget
Okay.
them.
So we're back to the trade question because that was my second person. I do not think Cousins will last with the Raiders for more than 1 year. If Cousins has a really good year, I think we're trading him flat out. I'm dead serious. I think if Cousins goes to the playoffs with the Raiders, he's getting traded.
If who?
If Cousins goes to the Super Bowl, not Super Bowl, if Cousins goes to the playoffs with the Raiders, he will get traded next year.
You probably right. You probably right about that
Oh,
because
that's what I'm doing.
we probably could get a lot for him at that point.
Oh hell yes! I'm like, give me 1 second, and I'll give it to you, and I can probably squeeze my way into a bottom first, right? So we have to factor that in. So again, Frank says the nation will split young versus old and panic, and that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta watch people who are gonna start panicking if Mendoza doesn't seem to be beating somebody like Kirk Cousins. I think he will. I think Mendoza is a better quarterback right now than Kirk Cousins is right now.
No, I definitely don't think that. Because
Okay.
back to this question, the reason why I say that is
Mhm.
because the question is, can Kirk Cousins throw for 3,500 this year? And I say, yeah, he can. Like at least 34.
Okay. But can Cousins move in the pocket?
He don't need to. He know how to matriculate the pocket.
Now, you've thought
See, it's a
about this.
difference
I'm
between
trying to put you in a trap. My boy's like, no, you ain't trapping me. You thought
yeah,
about all of this.
he can matriculate the pocket enough where he can move enough to the side a little bit and still get the pass off because he know where the ball needs to go.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
think he can get 34, 3,500 yards. But if you put Mendoza in, he not throwing for 3,500 yards.
You
He
don't
ain't
think so?
throwing for 35.
Really?
He might throw for 3,000 yards, maybe 32, maybe, and that'd be overachieving to me. Because then if he get 3,200, you'd be like, oh yeah, he on his way, right?
Okay,
But
fine. Let's just call it then. Give me the numbers for Cousins this year. Give me your final prediction for Cousins. I'm talking yards, quarterback, interception ratio.
okay, so I think like Kirk Cousins is gonna throw anywhere from 34 to 3,600 yards.
Okay.
And I think he's gonna throw for like
Mm-hmm.
27 touchdowns, maybe 28 touchdowns.
Okay.
I want to say anywhere from 26 to 28 touchdowns, and he only had like 12 interceptions.
Okay. Yeah, That's a Kirk Cousins season. He is
Yeah, that's a
very
Kirk
very
Cousins season.
capable of that. Yeah, okay. You're making me a believer. The only thing that's holding me back is he's coming from injury and he is 37 years old. I'm 41. The muscles don't move like they used to. You know,
Right.
but we'll see. He is a
But
professional athlete, right?
so wait, but we got Matt Stafford playing, right? We have Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers out there
Here's the
still
thing, though.
playing.
Here's the
Because
thing,
see,
though. Matt Stafford is so good, man. Matt Stafford is such a good quarterback.
well,
Matt
he
Stafford is
nice.
definitely he's a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins, right?
Well, that I think that's a matter of circumstance, though, because I think if
Okay,
you put Kirk Cousins in the right offense, which he's in right
right
now,
now,
which
then
he's in
okay,
right now,
okay,
he can do some things that we never seen before out of our quarterbacks
yeah.
because
So let me
because
look.
he can play the system right. He's
Let me.
good for the system.
I'm gonna look at Cousins last year, right? So he was injured for half the season. He started really playing week 11.
No,
He's
so what happened was the year before what? So last year they had put Penix in. And
mm-hmm.
then Penix got hurt. Then they put in Kirk Cousins
And
because
then they put in Kirk
the year
Cousins.
before, yeah, because the year before they had put Kirk Cousins in, and I think he got injured, and then they put Penix in or something like that. But they was playing the quarterback carousel game, and now
So,
this and now
shit, I think you're
now
right.
now the GM is gone, the head coach is gone, and Penix is going to be gone next. It wasn't
Bro.
because Penix was better; it was because
Hmm.
they was playing those games with Kirk Cousins. And Kirk Cousins came and played them last 4 or 5 games, and he won 4 of them, and he knocked out Tampa Bay from going to the playoffs. And
Uh-huh.
looking at his half a season totals, if he played that full year, he would have had close to them 4,000 yards. He probably would have had like 37, 3,800
No.
yards.
So Nation, check this out, because my boy might be right here. Because Kirk Cousins has had, check this out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons of throwing for 4,000 yards. 7. That's incredible.
That's
And
incredible.
in 2024, he threw for 3,500 yards. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Look, if he bounces back, you might have a point there. You really might have a point. Because he does throw a lot. He does throw a lot of balls. And his interception to touchdown ratio is pretty good, pretty consistently good. He will
Yeah.
consistently get more touchdowns than interceptions without even trying. Okay.
And he wasn't even in a Kubiak system. Wait till you in a Kubiak
Yeah,
system because
system.
when he was throwing on 4,000 yards, he was in a Kubiak system.
Kirk Cousins is so close to being a Hall of Fame conversation. If he can win a Super Bowl with the NFL MVP,
For sure.
he would actually squeeze into the conversation.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah, he was squeezing. And look, anyone who plays the game, anyone who knows who they are and they have pride in who they are, they want to squeeze into that system. I'll let you go with the question there. Go ahead.
No, let me see. Oh no, you said Mendoza said he's not ready himself. Yeah, Mendoza can't be ready. It's too much information.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Do you think, because again, Joe Burrow started season 1.
Hmm.
Mac Jones, season 1. Drake May, season 1. Like that's
But
the thing. Like, do you really want to say, but Mendoza not season 1? What would that say to the fans? Right?
well, the reason why, if you peep those players, they peak out early because the league catches up with them. Like,
Yeah.
sure, Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl early. Now, Joe Burrow window is closing right now. Matter of fact, he
Mm.
also strapping the franchise because between him, Higgins, and Chase, they got all the money. So
They
you're
got all the
not going
money.
to get better. You're not going to get a better O line. Y'all
Yeah.
don't have no running game. Y'all defense is suspect. So y'all window is closing now.
So,
If you
so okay.
go ahead.
So the other point there is a business reason to sit Mendoza for at least a year because again, the more Mendoza plays in the first year, the more you're gonna start talking about those contracts early, depending on what the performance is. So I could understand that, sit him a year and delay that contract talk for at least another year. I could get that too, right? Because Mendoza, once we gotta pay Mendoza, trust me, he's gonna be getting a truckload. We're gonna be pulling up trucks by his house, just
Yeah,
dumping
we're
money,
gonna give it to him.
right?
And we're gonna give it to him.
And we're
And we're
gonna give
gonna
it
give
to him,
it to him.
and we're
Yeah.
gonna be happy about it. We're gonna be cheering up
Yeah.
and down, right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Look, I want Cousins to go back to 4,000 yards. I do, right? The last time that happened was in 2022, right? That was the last time. So it's been a minute, but he did get 35 in 2024. So
Yeah. So Kirk Cousins is he's very capable. And this old line is going. I'm telling you, Kubiak is going to make sure he stay upright.
you stay upright,
Because
yeah.
if he can keep AOC upright, I know he can keep Kirk Cousins upright. Because there is a world where AOC can survive in this offense for like 6 games because
Yeah.
because he can move them around and all that. Because I've seen Kubiak do his thing with the quarterback they had last year, Sam
What's
Darnold.
Sam Darnold? Yeah.
But let me tell you the difference between a Sam Darnold and like an AOC. And I'm not
Uh-huh.
trying to hate on AOC because he's just not there yet. And the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because Kirk Cousins has this. The difference is when you're in the pocket, right, and you know you can't flush the pocket, you don't get nervous, and then you don't try to like what they call happy feet or whatever. You try to get out of there or whatever, or you make this aggressive move, but you can't throw the ball. With these quarterbacks, Cousin included, is he has the ability to take that half a step to the left and throw the ball so the defender don't knock his platform off. You
Yo,
know,
to my brother Bruce, I got you, brother. I got you. You can, no, yeah, Bruce. You can be whatever you want as long as you're home and you're safe. As long as you're home and you're safe, you can be whatever you want.
That's right. That's right. You know, the home and you say.
Dude, you are definitely selling me on Cousins, guys. I promise you right now, we're probably gonna go past 9:30 because I'm having a blast. So I know I said 9:30, but we're gonna push past that as long as we keep having fun. If you haven't hit the like on my channel or follow, please do so. I'm actually trying to grow. I only got like 300 followers right now, but you can see there's a ton of content on my channel already, and I am a one-man army. It's just me and myself, and trying to convince my wife that this will become my legacy, and it will be. But I need your help. So
that's right. That's right. That's right.
As you guys can see, I am from the Bay. I don't live in the Bay right now, but we are Bay boys. I am from the Bay.
That's right.
I love the Bay. I know my home. I know where we're from. So, man, you're getting me excited. So let's go to the O-line then. What about Kubiak's scheme O-line makes you excited? Because I haven't seen a lot of it, but let me put in one caveat. Q Myers, Locked On, said this: the Raiders have never been good in a zone scheme blocking offense. And he's right. Throughout Raiders history, for some reason, we don't do that well. Now, we got a whole new crop of offensive line, right? So talk to me, brother. What about that scheme makes you excited?
The reason why we haven't been successful at that because we usually don't have the players for them. Like Lincoln Kennedy trying to run a zone scheme with Lincoln Kennedy when he's a big guy, he's a power guy, is not going to work.
Lincoln, Lincoln,
now we have players. Now we have players that have the ability to get outside and move around, like JPJ. That's what makes him instrumental. That's why he's more effective at the guard position. We already know Linderbaum is going to be aggressive and he's going to handle business. The question we have is now DJ Glaze. You're a little slew-footed, and not only that, you get beat around the edge a little bit. And this is the year that you really gonna have to earn your chicken because we got some new hungry dogs that's ready to eat, and they want to eat right now. You know what I'm saying?
So let me defend my boy real quick. So I know somebody else said that about DJ Glaze earlier. Apparently, people think DJ Glaze can't move as well, right? That's the knock on him. Here's what I'm gonna say. I think DJ Glaze is the starting right tackle, and I think DJ Glaze is going to lock that down for a while. I keep saying it is the reason why. He's 23 years old and he's already started 2 seasons in the NFL. And last year, he played every single game. That does tell you he's improving big time. And he's still young enough to make the kinds of adjustments that you need. At 23 years old, he's already been in the NFL for 3 years. that's gonna count for a lot. And again, if you were the only healthy person last year in that O line, if he starts again this year, that tells you DJ Glaze is for real. Yes, I know you're thinking he's a bit slow there in the perimeter, but I think a zone scheme could be helpful for somebody who is a bit slower. I think a zone scheme could be helpful for that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. The
Yeah,
thing about it is, you just better hope a player like Grant doesn't come and be more aggressive, because the right tackle position is very important in Kubiak offense, because he schemes a lot of the other players with the right tackle
really.
and the
Okay.
left tackle as well.
Mhm.
What they have to do is have to stonewall the player.
Right.
And that's what my issue is with him, is his ability to get into the player to stop
Player
him,
and
because
stop.
usually
Okay.
they're getting around him. And if they're getting
Okay.
around him, that's because he's not able to get in front of him or whatever.
Okay.
And so
That's
I'm hoping
perfect.
that he can work on that part. And if not, I can see him probably moving to um, I don't know. It might, I don't
The
know. I would
guard.
hate to lose him, because like you say, he's been consistent. He's young and there's nothing but upside. But we have a very, very competitive O line this year.
Mhm.
We really went out and did something this year
So,
with the
so
line.
what you're talking about, and I've heard people say this, and this is one of the biggest problems for tackles, is how well you can do that first pivot to the side, right, and
Yeah.
kind of anchor your body. Okay, I'm gonna watch more film on him on that, but I do think, given that we did have competition last year, including the other Charles, not Rogers, is it Charles?
Caleb
The
Caleb Rogers.
not Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant. Charles Grant. Charles Grant was also a competition last year, and DJ Glaze beat him out the entire season. I think there's something there that we're gonna have to say. Maybe the scheme just doesn't work for Glaze at all. But I do think, given that he's proven for 2 years, he will not be moved or beaten. I think he's got what it takes to remain unbeaten in that position.
He better, because
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be
Because
tough.
so who's gonna be his
And,
biggest competition, do you think? Who's gonna be chasing him?
Grant.
Grant, okay. Charles Grant,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah,
Charles
because
Grant,
I almost think that they think he's going to be the left tackle for the Raiders in the future, behind Colton Miller. So if that is the
okay.
case, he needs to be playing right tackle right now, because Glaze is not going to be the left tackle unless he turn a significant corner.
Here's the really, really good news on Charles Grant. He was picked primarily because of his speed, because of his side movement. Charles Grant is really good at that. The knock on him was he played at Charles Williams and Mary, which is a D2 school, and we drafted him because he has the measurables, right? And he's got the speed. Now, I gotta tell you guys, he is a little small for tackle. He's only 304. It's a little small for tackle. So against a power rusher, he's gonna struggle at 304, right? And Glaze is 325.
Yeah, so
So
we might. Yeah,
yeah,
that's something to consider,
that's a
because that's
twinner.
a
That's
difference.
a small tackle. That is a small tackle. Because what's his name? Colton Miller is like 330, 325, 330.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Hey, Nate,
Yeah.
who are you talking about? Who was one of the worst tackles last year? With
Was
Glaze?
one of the worst tackles last year. Who?
Yeah, I'm trying to see who he's talking
I
about.
don't
But
think. Yeah, if he's talking Glaze, he was not one of the worst tackles last year. Definitely not.
yes, I don't know. Well, he's
So
gonna
that's
answer
that's
it.
my that's my worry with Charles Grant. And remember, we haven't heard a lot about Charles Grant, and I'm like, it might be because he's a bit too small to play that outside. I know he's got the quickness, but if you got the quickness and you don't have the power to go along with that, I don't know if that works as well. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, DJ Glaze may not be as quick as you're thinking in your head, but it's like, but at 325. I think there's a reason he started the entire season. So that 304 of Charles Grant makes me a bit nervous. I'm gonna be honest. It makes me a bit nervous.
And
I
you
don't know.
say
I don't know how many tackles are that small.
you're saying he's talking about Glaze, and Weber says if Glaze struggles over there, we will have to back chip his side or stay in to pass block.
Yeah.
The
We do
thing
have a
about
fullback
Kubiak,
now.
That's true. The thing about Kubiak is he know how to game plan the plays for the strengths and the weaknesses of the player on
of
the
the player.
line.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
whatever Glaze is not a total wash because he does some things good, and I think that's just what we'll do. Um, I don't know. So maybe like put I don't know. Maybe put
Let me look
JPJ
at
on the
Rogers
left
real quick.
side.
Let me look at Rogers because we're not that deep on
Yeah,
tackle. That's the thing. We're deep in guard. We're deep in lineman overall, general, but we're not that deep in offensive tackle. Let me look at Caleb Roger.
yeah. Rogers,
Yeah,
they saying he might be the left guard,
yeah.
but you know people are saying Burford. I think once the pass come on, Burford is not going to be.
Gotta,
He's not going to start the season as our starter unless our other lineman is just that far behind because he's just average at best.
yeah. So Caleb Rogers is 312. Even he's bigger than Charles Grant. So
Oh yeah.
I love Charles Grant. I do. I'm just not. I Yeah. And then we got Trey Zoon, who's standing at 6'7" at 319, but he's also a guard. And the reason he's a guard is because he doesn't have the movement speed. And we know that. And he has a shorter arm. So we do know that. That's
Yeah.
why he's more of a guard. Again, I think we're riding DJ Glaze up a little too quickly because if he's playing tackle, that means he has an arm length.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
has measurables. So how much slower is he really? I don't know if he's slow enough to say he's not going to be a starter. Because the question is, well, is Charles Grant strong enough to take his position? And I'm not seeing that right now.
You know what? You know what? You might be right about that.
Yeah.
You
Look,
might be right.
unless Charles Grant put on some weight over the last year, because again, they do get bigger unless they put on some weight, and all he needs is like 10 more pounds. But right now, yeah, I'm liking Glaze. I really am.
No, you might be right about that. I might have to agree with you on that because, um, yeah, he would have to come in and just dominate to take that position from
He
Glaze.
would. He would. And
Yeah,
I'm telling everything I see about Glaze tells me, bro, I'm not giving this thing up. You gonna have to kill me. You gonna have to.
right.
He is gone against Max Crosby for the past 2 years in training camp, and he's still started. I'm telling you, there's something there because
Yeah,
remember, he's the one going up against Max Crosby most of the time, and
yeah.
he's still starting. Don't write that up. That's all I say.
So what about the left guard position? Spencer Burford is the he knows the system. He's been in the
Yeah.
league. He has some starts under his belt. But is that good enough to hold that position down? Because, you know, Caleb Rogers, a lot of people are high on him, even so much that they thought he's gonna take JPJ spot, but I don't see that happening. But he might have action at the left guard position. What do you think about that?
Let me put it this way: you are making me more confident that JPJ will be the starting right guard. You're making me more confident because JPJ scares me. He makes me nervous. That aggression gets a lot of penalties and gets injuries. But here's what I say about Spencer Burford. He's
Yeah.
300 pounds, right? He is the exact same size as Charles Grant and height. That's because again, does that mean that Charles Grant can play guard? Probably. Okay, if the coach went and got him specifically, because remember, we specifically went and got him, that means there's something that was seen at the age of 25. I think he's gonna start at the left guard. I do. Now
He's 25.
yeah, he's 25. Is he gonna lose it over time? Maybe, but I do think he's gonna start at the age of 25, and the coach specifically went and got him. I think it's because they've seen something there.
I think we went and got him because we didn't have nobody else at that time.
Nobody else. Okay. Yeah.
At the time that we went and grabbed him, it was extra smart to grab him because we didn't have nobody. This was like probably the first O line movement that we made was go grab him. It was like, okay, cool. He's a
So,
young guy.
what's the knock against him? Why? What is the weak? What's his weakness?
He, he
You think?
I think from this is me talking. I think his weakness is the fact that he kind of fell into that position with the Niners. So it wasn't like he was a starter, but he
Okay.
started some games. So what happens
Okay.
is like Kubiak, when he was coming in, he like, okay, let me pick some players I know that know the system already. So that way at least I have a starting ground with that. and then I worked
Okay.
with what I have. And so they went and got Kirk Cousins because he knew Cousins could run the offense. He got Spencer Burford because we needed somebody on the line because
Uh-huh.
they wasn't probably confident with Meredith. They wasn't confident with just our O line in general because they didn't know what they had in Grant and Rogers. So he
Hmm.
went and picked a familiar face. And so then now after the draft, we got Zoom and maybe if Caleb Rogers do turn a corner, then
Hmm.
we got a good depth piece.
All
And
right, here's another.
that's what he is already. He's
Yeah,
not a starter yet. He's a
okay.
good depth. He's trying to be a starter.
All right,
So
here's another wrench to that story.
mhm,
Here's another quick wrench. So he came in the league in 2022. He actually started 16 games in 2022 as a rookie, and he started 13 games in his second year. Got injured his third year because he started 0 games and only started 9 games last year. I wonder if it's coming out of injury. And remember, here's the thing with football: if a player gets hurt in their third year, unless they are like a superstar, they will most certainly get traded or let go up in their fourth year because teams don't want to pay them because they don't know what they've got. And unless you get
right,
drafted in the first, you don't get a fifth-year option. So I legitimately think the Niners were going to let him go anyways after the fourth year because they weren't either that or they were going to sign him to a big-time contract, and they weren't going to do that. So if this
right.
is the case, I think it's because it's coming out from injury. I don't think we're gonna write it off because I honestly, if it's like you started your first 2 seasons and then you got injured and then you came back and you started 9 games, I think there might be something there too.
So it might be something there more so
And he's
than I
still
thought. But
25.
the first so who was he playing with the first 2 years?
He was with the Niners. He was with the Niners all 4 years. Yeah, he got drafted by the Niners in 2022. Started 16 games, started 13 games, 0 games, and 9 games. Yeah.
So he was playing next to what's their left tackle, all world left tackle, the OG over there?
Williams, is that his name? Trent Williams.
Trent Williams, yeah, Trent
Yeah.
Williams. So what was his stats those first 2 years? Like what's his
So I'm not.
PFF grade? Let me see.
I'm,
Yeah, I'll look
oh
at
yeah,
it.
let's check that. Yeah, you check that. You check that real quick. Yeah, I don't know, but knowing that he started 2 seasons actually kind of makes me think no, we might have something here. He was also a three-time All-Conference USA selection. He's got something. What round was he drafted? Fourth round selection. Okay.
See, his first year, his PFF grade, overall grade was a 50.1, and then the second year
Okay.
was 50.4. And that's
Okay.
not
That's
good.
not great. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. Shoot.
But still, all in all, though, the same thing with the Glaze thing. That going through that, it counts for something.
Hmm.
And what it does, and what it counts for is that for one, you're more acclimated to the NFL game, regardless if you're not highly performative. The thing is, you probably will start, but if you do get injured, just know if Zoom comes in and play
Yeah,
at a 60.4 rate, you're not getting back on the field. And for him to do
exactly.
a 60-point rate is probably going to be easy for him to do because he's probably going to come in and play at the low 70s.
Look, okay. Okay, let's go to Zoom because he might be the horse here. He might be the one that emerges as a guard and does something special. Because he's big, man. For a guard, 6'7", 3'2". That's a wall. If you put that right next to Colton Miller, I don't know if anybody's coming in there from that side.
If say that again, if what?
If you put him next to Colton Miller,
Right.
your camera is flicking again. I don't know if anybody's getting in there.
Oh yeah.
At least I
I
don't.
would
I don't.
agree.
It won't be that easy to get in there, right? So I'm
No,
I'm
I
I'm,
agree with
I'm
that.
kind of liking that. I'm kind of liking that. And the thing is, can you run behind Colton Miller and Trey Zune, or would Trey Zune just be a little bit too big and not enough movement, right? Because if you say Burford is not good against the pass, I say yeah, I kind of understand because he's only 300 pounds, so it might be easier to move him against in a passing situation. But Trey Zune is going to be hard to move in a passing situation.
Yeah, and plus he's used to playing left tackle
So
in
he knows how
college,
to play all
so
those positions. Yeah,
he
I
knows how.
I can see that.
So for me is how well is Caleb Rogers going to play? Because other than that, it's going to be that 2-man game. It's going to be either Zune or Burford, and I think Zune can beat him out.
You think Zune can beat out Caleb Rogers?
I think Zune can beat out Burford, but
Burford. Okay.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what Caleb Rogers going to do. I don't think Caleb Rogers is rated no more than 60 or maybe
Yeah.
65, and I don't even think he's that high.
So he's gonna be a second year pro. He got drafted in what? Right? We drafted him in the fourth, also, right? No, we thought we drafted him in the third.
In the third, yeah.
3'12", 6'4" guard. Yeah, it's gonna be really up to him. He came from Texas Tech. Wait a minute. Where did Trey Zune come from? Texas A&M. Okay. Yeah. I'm still liking Rogers because Trey Zune is 6'7". I think that 6'7" means that he is going to be generally slower. I think if Caleb Rogers can prove to be quicker, he might be better, more all around better than Trey Zune. All the Raiders got could play on both sides. I'm not sure about Burford. Yeah, I'm not sure about him either, and I don't think he's meant to play on both sides.
I don't think so either. I don't think he can play both sides either.
Yeah, I don't think he can. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about Burford. I really don't. I can go look on film on him, but if he played for the Niners and played all game in this first year and 13 games in his second year, he's not bottom of the poll, right? At least he's not bottom of the poll.
No, I agree with that. That says a lot when you can stay on the field that long.
Especially for a Niners team that's a winning Niners team. If you can start for that team and hold it down, I'm not sure you're that bad. Maybe not particularly great in the past, because at 300 pounds, that would make sense that he gets beat in the past. That would make sense. That would make sense.
Here I go.
I'm still looking and trying to find any way to find something to. Yeah, for now, I'm gonna put for Buffer. I don't like saying his name though. His name sounds weird to say in my mouth with my African accent that comes out every now and then.
Spencer Burford.
Buffer just sounds weird to say. It's like it literally sounds like I'm barfing, like Burford. Okay, but what about Jordan Meredith? Do you think he's staying? He's going? We're trading him? Because I don't hate on him as much as other people do.
Well, my thing about that is he played well at guard, and then he went to center because Pete Carroll didn't trust JPJ.
And he wasn't a bad center. He wasn't bad.
He was getting blew off the ball though.
Yeah. Again, he's 301. He's 301, 6'2". I think it's going to be the backup center.
But I don't know why he can't earn his spot back. He should be the one starting if anybody going to start.
At guard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm about to refresh and then put up.
He's going to be bad against the pass too. He's small. He's a small guard. He's going to be bad against the pass. Wait, is Aiden O'Connell only 206? Is he really only 206? He must be really slow because he seems so much bigger than 206.
Yeah, so I don't think he's gonna. Jordan Meredith, his best chances to play at that level at guard again.
Yeah. Hey, no. Look, dude, we can't write up backups. There will be backups. He's a good backup because he can play center and he can play guard. He's a good backup, right?
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Listen, let me get the chat. Let me see. Miller is left tackle, so the other guy start fighting for that right tackle spot. Yeah.
Yep.
He says if we have questions at right tackle, we better have a solid citizen at right guard. Yeah, and that's going to be JPJ.
Dylan Parham. Dylan Parham is not on the team anymore, right?
I don't think
So
so.
we know Dylan Parham got pushed around a bit.
Yeah.
Let's find out why. Because if he gets pushed around, it's gonna be size. If he gets pushed around, it's gonna have to be size, unless he's not good with technique. I don't know.
Did a part him. Did a
Oh,
part.
oh yeah, he was 285.
Oh
Yeah, he
yeah.
was getting pushed around. Yeah, he's not good again. Yeah, that means he's good in the run because he's strong. But in the pass, he's gonna get tossed because in the pass you can't be as aggressive. You have to let the guy come to you. Oh yeah, no, that makes sense that he was getting pushed around. 285 is that's small for a guard. Oh my
Yeah, it
god.
is.
Yeah, that's small for a guard. I didn't realize he was that small. Again, dude, the Raiders have been so badly out of position for so long. I didn't realize we had a 285-pound guard playing dress up as a
The
as a starting
O-lineman.
O line. I mean, 285. That's a defensive tackle. Yeah, that makes sense. So Parham was good against the run, not good against the pass. That makes sense. I think Jordan Meredith has the same problem, right? He's going to be a good. I'm gonna say Jordan Meredith will be a good backup. I wouldn't trade him. I wouldn't take him anyway. He's gonna be a good backup. Let me check out Lindenbaum real quick because Lindenbaum is a really good center, right? So
James said the
why?
O line is at least something to talk about this season. Was nasty last year. I'm 47 and been rolling with them for life. Shout out to you. You almost at that 50 piece.
Jamarcus was 285. I know. Yeah, don't get me. Let's not go in there again. See, Lindenbaum is 6'2", but he's 305, and he's a world class wrestler. So if you didn't know that about Lindenbaum, in college he was like national championship wrestler. So he has a lot of technique. Like Lindenbaum is basically a really good sumo wrestler. So he's really, really hard to get around. He's quick, he's strong, but yeah,
Yeah. But he handles business though.
oh yeah, and Lindenbaum is extremely smart in football, right?
Right.
He had a really good pre-snap understanding of the game.
And that's where most of the game is won. Because you if you know who you're supposed to block, it's hard for them to beat you.
Right, right, yeah, I
Okay,
yeah,
Raider Rebel says that we've been having. Let me see. It says I feel like the problem is our offensive line, as we have some guards that are good in the run game,
but
some
not good
guards
at
that are good in the pass game.
pass.
We
Yeah.
don't have many that could do both. It's hard to find players that could do both.
because that
Period.
because that comes down to size. Because the bigger you get, the slower you get, right? The smaller you are, the quicker you are, but you lose strength. So it becomes a match of where do you put people. But I think in a zone scheme, you generally want people to their size to fit well with what you're trying to do. So I think in a zone scheme for guards, you do want your guards to be a bit bigger, around like 210, 215 to 225, right? Because I don't want guards who are just going to get pushed all over the place, like Dylan Parham.
No, yeah, and they have to be mobile too, though.
And they got to be mobile. I, I will confidently say that our two best, maybe a hot take, our two best linemen are going to be Lindenbaum and DJ Glaze. I'm going to confidently say that. I could be wrong, but I think I'm giving DJ Glitz a lot more than other people might be giving him.
Yeah, no, but you kind of sprinkled a little light on that situation, like what it really boils down to, what the options are.
Yeah,
So that's why he's really haven't been challenged because there's really no one that can really.
to challenge him, he fits really well. Because in your
Yeah,
next best challenge is Charles Grant, but he's 300.
yeah.
Imagine Charles Grant going up against Max Crosby. At the very least, Max is going to win a lot of that takes, right? Because even if Charles Grant is quick, Max is strong. So and has really long arms. So Max is going to win a lot of those reps, right? I just don't think you're going to be beating DJ Glaze easily, standing at 331 with long arms.
You definitely gonna have to take the long way around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. And we don't even have to go into Max because Max is good, but like someone like a Michael Parsons, oh man, can you imagine being 300 pounds and going up against him? He's gonna just push you straight back and just destroy you. It wouldn't even be that hard for him. Now imagine a Will Anderson. Will freaking Anderson is already 265 pounds.
All right.
And he's just gonna knock you right over. And that's the thing when it comes to linemen. It's really hard to put them together because they have to fit. The size has to work.
James says the centerpiece telling everyone what they need to do is huge.
Yep,
I know
huge.
we're crazy fans, and every year we're hoping for a better year. Hope that they let this coaching staff build something. No, they're building it. Don't worry about it. They're
Here's
building.
here's the
It's
number
not
one.
no hope. They're
Yeah,
building it. Don't
they are
worry
building.
about it. They are building it.
And here's the number one reason why Jordan Meredith is going nowhere. He doesn't get injured. Look, when it comes to linemen, especially for the center position, not getting injured is good. Jordan Meredith doesn't get injured. I do not think the Raiders will trade him. I think the Raiders are going to keep Jordan Meredith. He will be a very good backup. Right?
Okay. Okay, that's good. I can see that. Raider Ali says Linderbaum struggles in the pass game. He's going to need two solid guards next to him.
Okay. Why does he struggle in the pass game? Again, it
I don't
goes
think
back
he
to
struggles in
size,
the pass
right?
game.
I don't think he does either. But if he does have a weakness, it will be pass game because he's only 305. It will be pass game if he has a weakness. To being 305 gives you a little more size, and he's a wrestler, so he's got really good base. But if he has a weakness, it would be the pass, right? That's why he's really good against the run, and we brought him in because we want him to be really good against the run. Because Kubiak's offense is going to run through the run game, right? We do know that. It's primarily run game based, focused. For those who watch Kubiak a lot.
Yeah.
What's the run to pass ratio for Kubiak?
It's 1-to-1, maybe like 1.2 to 1. Or
Okay.
no, it might be like 1 to 1.2. It can go either way, but
okay. So we're talking like 55% to 45%. We're not talking like we're not talking 70-30.
Give or take, give or take like 2 or 3%.
Yeah, then I think he's gonna go more for size. I think he's looking for those 312 to 320 linemen.
Well, our offensive line is built to run. Because he could scheme the pass plays,
right?
Because you're setting up the pass with the run regardless,
right?
So you can scheme the pass play part because we can scheme the pass protection. It's the run protection that you don't want to have to try to scheme. You want to that you don't want to have to come up with a deficiency for. So we're gonna go out there and we're gonna run the ball. We don't do nothing else.
Nothing else. Okay, so Raiders said Raiders sun lashed
Unleashed.
Yeah. Oh, Unleashed. Raiders Unleashed. Got it. Great name. Raiders Unleashed. He says, I don't think DJ Glaze is slow. I don't. I think DJ Glaze is 331 pounds. I don't think that makes him slow. That just makes him slower than a 300-pound man. But he's also stronger than a 300-pound man. So it's a trade-off. And the trade-off is this. He started every single game. That means he's able to handle his weight and be quick enough to get the job done. Because if he's just straight up slow, then I think Charles Grant should have beat him last year. If Charles Grant didn't beat him last year, it's because DJ Glaze is better. So no, I don't think he's slow. I think he's slow for a 335-pound man, but 335 pounds is supposed to be slower, right?
All right. I can go with that.
Yeah, that's it. Because again, the guy started the entire game last year. I can't hate on that. I don't know where the hate for that would come from.
Yeah, he says his footwork gets him in trouble
I,
constantly. I don't see him
okay.
starting the season at right tackle unless Rick Dennison can fix
Okay.
some of
Okay.
that.
Let's look. I'm gonna look for the
But
best
who
right
you gonna
tackles right
put
now.
there then? Who do you
Yeah.
put there then?
Perfect. Yeah. Raiders Unleashed. Who are you going to put at right tackle if you think DJ Glaze is too slow?
Right. And I bet you the answer is gonna be Charles Grant, but
Charles Grant.
he's three.
And I got your answer for that. It won't be Charles Grant because he's too small. 300
Yeah,
pounds tackle will not work. He will
yeah,
he's gonna get pushed over too much.
yeah. It's not gonna work.
It, I wish people would understand that about the game. Like, no, the size has to work. If the size doesn't work, you
Yeah, the physics have to make sense.
look. DJ Glaze again has been going up against Max Crosby for the past 2 years, and he's still starting and hasn't gotten injured. You cannot underwrite that.
No, that dude that does have some gravity to it for sure.
Okay, I'm looking up the best right now. Tristan Wirfs, who, by the way, Lindenbaum beat him in the college wrestling championship. Look it up. Lindenbaum beat him. He's a tackle, left tackle. He weighs 320. There's a reason for that. 320 is harder to push around by a Max Crosby. 300 will get tossed by a Max Crosby. It just wouldn't be work. I think it was pretty close to 50-50. I don't think so. 50-50 doesn't tell me one person started the entire season. 50-50 says there was a competition. Starting the entire season tells me no, he beat him. He beat him. I think Glaze beat him. I think Glaze flat out beat Charles Grant. I think he did.
So check this out though.
Uh-huh.
Linderbaum run blocking grade was 83.2, which ranked him
Uh-huh.
fourth among centers, and it
Fourth,
was
okay.
63.4 pass blocking, which ranked him
Yeah.
22nd.
Because he's 300 pounds. He's not as strong against the pass, but that's fine because he's a center, so he's got both guards and both sides to help him out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When it comes to football, the first thing you want to look at is the measurable because that's the first thing the scout looks at. How tall are you? How big are you? Right? Now, I'm going to look up Trent Williams. I want to see how big he is because he's also one of the best. And weight and size is things people never look at because they don't think it matters. But that's the number one thing that matters. Your best right tackles. I'm looking at Williams right now, 320. That is the first thing you got to look at, right? Charles Grant didn't have the opportunity to play on the right side. The right side to play on the right side, yeah, because DJ Glaze beat him. DJ Glaze beat him.
Yeah, because DJ Glaze beat him. Yeah.
DJ Glaze beat him. That's why. Again, okay, fine. Let's go to Colton Miller. Colton Miller is how much does he weigh? £326. You think Charles Grant is going to take a place of a 326 pound man? The question is, what does he have that's going to make him take his place? What does he specialize in? Because if you're talking that side, right? Okay, so you're talking that side. You know who rushes on that side? What's his name? Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons weighs 250. You think a 300-pound Charles Grant is going to stop a 250-pound muscle-ripped Michael Parsons from tearing his head off? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I know I'm not taking Parsons over Max. Come on. I get it. Max is a Raider, but Micah Parsons regularly gets you 15 sacks a game. Dude, go watch Micah Parsons play. That man wrecks games. So no, I don't take Micah Parsons over I don't take Max over Parsons. The one thing that Micah Parsons doesn't have enough of is honestly size because it's only 250. Max is 253. Micah Parsons is low to the ground, though. right? He's lower to the ground. Michael Parsons to me, it reminds me of Dwight Freeney. Speed off the ball, low to the ground, gets around the corner really quickly. No, I don't take Max over Parsons. I think Parsons is a better player than Max, and Parsons is younger.
Taking Max.
You're taking Max?
Yeah, because a lot of things Max do that sometimes it's not stats for it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what he was mostly saying is because of character issue too. Because not to say that Parsons is a bad character guy, just like does he fit with the locker room and what we're trying to do? Like you just said, Mamba mentality doesn't run through everybody, so it's the mentality. So I
Right.
think it's probably a locker room more of a locker room fit. But I would probably take uh, Max over Michael Parsons. But
Parsons.
I don't think you can go wrong either way
And,
though.
and for me, that's not a battle because I actually don't think Michael Parsons is a good edge for me. I think it's still a bit too small. Will Anderson Jr., that's my edge. If you tell me right now, which edge am I picking to start on my team day one and be a franchise? It's Will Anderson. He's got the size. He'll stop the run. He'll get your sacks. He'll just do it all. Max does do it all, but Max does it all with effort. Right? The problem is effort does mean a lot more work on your muscles over time. I think you're starting to understand when it comes to me, height and size in football matters more than anything. That's why I don't think Malcolm Koonce is a good edge. I think he's just too small.
Yeah, Coach is having problems over there. But the thing is, he flashed on the radar with the end of that season with
That
AP
season,
and got those sacks, and then he never returned to that
and then
form,
never
and he
turned.
got injured. So
And
I think he's
I think the reason why is this: at 240, Kuz has to try to go around the edge a lot. He has to use speed around the edge. Once tackles know that you're trying to just go around the edge, they can make that pivot really quickly enough to stop you. And then you start to put in more effort, and then the injuries will come. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Kuz is not an edge, he's a linebacker. He's not going to be a good enough edge. Okay. But yeah, I want to know what people think because a few things that I will make clear. I think DJ Glaze is your starter at right tackle. I think he fits. He's got the size. He's got everything that I'm looking for, and he's already started 2 seasons. I don't see me hating on that because again, Charles Grant has also been on the team for 2 seasons. If you want to do something, why haven't you done it yet? Right?
Yeah, you might be right. Glaze probably is going to start. Yeah, you're probably right.
Here would be the good news. If Glaze doesn't start, that actually would be really good news because Glaze is still 23 years old. We're just going to trade him next year. Glaze is younger than Charles Grant. Just look that again. I love Glaze. I do.
He got more experience and he's younger.
And he's younger. Yeah. If you're winning in camp, that means you're better. So I'm gonna go with that logic, right? So the question is the left guard position. Who's going to take it? That is the biggest competition. Who's going to take it? This assuming that JPJ has already locked down the right guard position, right? Because that's the other thing. DJ Glaze and JPJ already have a chemistry, guys. They already have a chemistry. They've been playing together for the past 2 years. Right? JPJ has been more injured, but they've been playing together for the past 2 years. They've got the chemistry down. All right, who else do we got? That we got to talk about? I know you're still working on your camera, but don't worry. I got you covered. All right, chat. Give me somebody else y'all want to talk about. I know we're big on linemen right now, but I actually think our lineman situation is not the most difficult. I think that one's mostly figured out. I really do. I think the only missing spot was really the left guard.
Yeah, I didn't think we needed a whole line overhaul. I just think we needed to shore up the center position and then get like 2 linemen. But we got 2 and 1 with Linderbaum and then we got 2 and 1 with Zoom, maybe 3 and 1. So
Yeah,
I think
because
we
June can
cool
play
at that.
every position, right? June can play every. Oh, he won't play center; he's too tall. But he'll play every other position, right? All the guards
Yeah,
and all the tackles.
yeah. If need be, yeah.
Yeah, I, dude, I am, I'm so excited for this coming season because this team now looks like a football team, guys. It looks. Remember what I said yesterday? You go 4-3 when your football doesn't make sense.
Right. I like
The
that.
online football didn't make sense last year. That's why we won 4 games. If you look it up, the online did. Everybody was out of position. Now with Linderbaum coming in, all of a sudden everyone just gets in position. I think that
Yep.
makes a difference.
And the way that they're gonna the the way that they're being coached to block, like
Hmm.
there's a big difference from what they was doing last year. Last year it looked like we didn't know who to block.
Hmm. Hmm. And I have to say, when it comes to the zone, I'm going to have to do more research. So correct me if I'm wrong. I think the bigger size is more important because the zone does mean that you are going to have to sit there and just take on that rush. So you are going to have to be more of a wall, right? If I'm correct about a zone, because zone means that you're not pushing forward like in the power zone scheme, right? In the power zone scheme, you're mostly the lineman is pushing forward, but in a zone scheme, you're kind of pulling back a bit. So you do need to have more weight. You need to have more size to be able to do
So
that.
in the zone, you're running a you have an assignment of who you're gonna block,
Oh, you're gonna block. Okay.
so you can create running lanes or gaps or
Okay.
or if you can get to the outside, cool. But if you can't, there's cutback lanes, and
Okay.
so essentially you 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 guys like run to a position and then you just block it up. Like you gotta know who you blocking up and
Uh-huh.
depending on where they line up at versus like power, they you just block them in
You're
front of
just
you.
blocking in
Like,
front of you. Okay.
mhm.
Okay. And somebody said that they were roommates in camp. Are you talking about DJ Glaze and JPJ? Because I'm telling you right now, when it comes to lineman, chemistry is one of the biggest things. If you have two people who've been starting next to each other for the past 2 years, I think there is no way you're going to split them. Even if you're running a new scheme, you need to see if they can still keep working together. Because if you need to replace somebody who's been starting for 2 years and put somebody next to him, that's going to be harder to do. I'm telling you, the more we keep talking, I'm telling you, DJ Glaze is good. Do not
Mhm.
listen to anybody who's telling you that he's not. I think he's
Mhm.
good. Until I see otherwise, I think he's good.
Yeah, yeah. I think I might have to agree with you on that
And
because
we didn't even draft anybody for his position. We didn't even not even from UDFA we didn't get anybody for his position. Right? Because Trey Zune is more of a even if Trey Zune can play everything, he's more of a left side. No, no, I love Glaze. I do.
he's
I
more of a
love
left side, right?
I love Glaze. Yeah, they did not address his position at all, and you know coaches can watch his film. You know coaches saw his film, and I think what they saw, they were like, no, I think he's good. I think he's good.
Yeah, you might be right there.
Yeah, those are my thoughts on that. And I love this shit. I love this. I think we keep going here.
I think you hit the nail on the head with the DJ Glaze thing because I was thinking that Grant was going to come in and take his spot, but for what we need that right tackle to do, he's probably not big enough.
It's probably, yep. And when I want to understand more of what the league is doing, I just look at the top positions. What did they look like? Because that's what everyone's looking for. A 300-pound tackle, put it this way: there's a reason why he went to Williams and Mary, and that might also have to do with the size, right? Because generally speaking, when you don't fit the mold, that's when you start dropping into the top Division 2 teams like Williams and Mary, and people want to know if we give you again if he can put on my weight. If he can put on my weight, if Charles Green can put on my weight, we might have something. Let me look somebody up who was a rookie this year. Caleb Lomu. Let me look up Caleb Lomu. I'll tell you why in a second. Oh, yeah. So Caleb Lomu is the guy from he was in a draft this past year from Utah. The big thing against him was that he was a bit small as a tackle. That's what the scouts were saying. Caleb Lomu still weighs 313 pounds. And the scouts were saying he's still too small as a tackle, and we might want to move him to guard. I'm telling you right now, we're not putting Charles Grant, 300-pound Charles Grant, as a starting tackle. I think he's going to get pushed around.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But that means that I'm loving the way our offense is looking. I'm loving the way it's looking because, again, let's go to the backups. Antonio Mafe, right? He's still 25. He's 330 guard. Maybe in a zone scheme, he might emerge, right? So we have to think about something like that as well.
Mm-hmm. He might, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about Mafe either because he has not made any noise at all. You know who I really want to talk about? I know your camera's doing this
That's
thing.
cool. I
I
think it
really,
just needs to charge. But go ahead, we good.
I want to talk
However
about
long you
Lucky
want.
Tassi. I want to talk about Lucky
Oh
Tassi.
yes.
What do you think is happening with him? Because I'll just say this right now: if he really does weigh 373, that does sound like a nose tackle. But I think it's because he's going to slim back down to around 350.
Yeah, as long as he can get it. If
Right.
he can,
Because go ahead.
if he can, well, that would save us from having to get a D tackle early in the
Right.
early rounds.
Because check this out. This is his measurables, right? He's 6'6". Right now he's 375, but he's 22 years old. You know what that tells me? That tells me the past 2 years, because he's been with the last year, somebody said we need to put on a lot of weight for you because your body can take it. And now they're gonna slim him back down to around 350, build out that muscle because he's a rugby player, so he knows how to build that muscle, right? If you look at Lucky Tassi right now, if you look at his waistline, he's really, really big in his bottom waistline. Okay, I think that's because he's going to slim back down to around 350, maybe even like 335. And that would be a really, really good size for a 23-year-old defensive tackle in the NFL. So I think what's happening, I'm excited about what's happening with him.
And he can pick up some speed like that.
Exactly. Because at 373, that's a little too big. You're just not gonna be fast enough.
No.
You just won't have enough speed. But if you
That's
slim
why
down
we're trying to make him an old lineman.
exactly. But if you slim down, let me see who's the biggest defensive tackle right now, size wise. That's also good. Who's the best defensive tackle right now? The guy who just got traded from the Giants who just went from the Giants to another team right before the draft. I forgot his name. Yeah, I forgot his name. Dexter Lawrence. Is Dexter Lawrence a defensive tackle or is he an edge?
I think he's D tackle.
Yeah, Lawrence. I want to see him real quick. Yeah, oh, he's a nose tackle too. Okay, let's see. Oh, it is him I'm thinking about. It is Dexter Lawrence that I'm thinking about. He just got traded, right? He just got traded. Oh, yeah. I'm spot on. He's 350. I'm spot on. Yeah, Lucky Tassi, the plan for Lucky Tassi is to slim him down to 350. I am spot on. Dexter Lawrence is 350.
You can do that. That'd be good for him.
Yeah. I think that makes sense for Lucky Tassi. That makes sense. Yo, James coming in with the Raiders.
Purple.
Yeah, so Dexter Lawrence just got traded this year from the Giants to, was it the Browns? Oh, Bengals. He went to the Bengals.
Who went to the Bengals?
Dexter Lawrence went from the Giants to the Bengals. He's a nose tackle and he weighs 350. And I think he might be the biggest nose tackle in the NFL.
Yeah, they didn't want to give him his money.
Uh, mm. Yo, James Furpy.
It's
Sorry if I
purple.
said it. Furpo. James
Yeah,
Furpo. My
yeah.
man.
Good with purple. I think we looking solid in a lot of places. We don't have too many weak spots. We had a lot of holes to cover, and we did
We
cover a lot of holes.
exactly. We had a lot of holes, and we covered. If you which if you keep doing a recap of this offseason in your head, you'll realize the Raiders covered a lot of holes, and they covered them with a lot of young players who are ascending. Right? Who is the best defensive tackle in the NFL right now? Jeffrey Simmons. Okay. Jeffrey Simmons. And Chris Jones. Yeah, we know about Chris Jones. We don't like Chris Jones.
Oh. At all.
So Jeffrey Simmons. Yeah, Jeffrey Simmons is 305. Yeah, that's a great size for a tackle. That's a great size for a tackle. Ah, man. Okay. Waiting for what kind of camera do you have?
Sony,
Oh,
the
okay.
ZB1.
Okay, because I don't know if the Sony can take a permanent plug-in because my camera is permanently plugged in. My camera
It's
is
supposed to
permanently
be.
charging. It's supposed to be. Yeah. Some of those earlier Sonys. When it comes to cameras, cameras started getting better with battery once streaming started. Once people started streaming, and then cameras started getting better with battery. Okay, so I've been trying to solve that Lakitasi problem for a while because I'm like 373 is a little big. It's like that's like too big, but it makes sense now. They're gonna try and slim them down.
So that is our D tackle.
Yep,
Let's
that
go
is
to it.
he is a nose tackle. I don't. That's the question. He's still 22, so he's still young. Can he be slim enough this year to get enough speed to play the nose tackle this year? Do you think
Well, they're gonna give him some reps.
they will? Yeah,
We're gonna find out.
we're gonna find out. Okay, and then that leaves someone like Thomas Booker.
Oh yeah, him and Adam Butler in trouble. They better show up this year.
Yeah, because he's 26, 301, good size for a tackle. Because that's a really good size for a tackle because he can play nose at 301 in the passing down, get some speed, play some nose with Quiddy Pay and Max Crosby on the other side, or even Keon Crawford. Woo-hoo! Man, Raiders are looking good.
Yeah, we're gonna be a really competitive.
Yeah. And then we also got Adam Butler, who's also 301, also really good tackle. Yeah, I think that Lakitasi is supposed to be the nose tackle. Because remember, this year they moved him from offense to defense. I think the idea is to make him a nose tackle.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, because he's going to be our biggest. There's one other person. Oh, check this guy out. Brandon Cleveland. If you haven't seen it much about him, I did make a video on him already. Go look up Brandon Cleveland. We drafted him in the 6th. I'm telling you right now, we might have something here. He is 315 and tackle. So that means he can play nose tackle and regular tackle. He might be the actual starting nose tackle / tackle over Lakitasi because he already has NFL experience and he's only 21 years old.
Well, we drafted him out of what school he went to?
We drafted him out of North Carolina State, the same college as Cian Sloan. Kean Sloan. Same college, same defense, but he was a nose tackle / tackle. Here's the thing. When he played nose tackle, he got 0 sacks, but when they switched to a 4-3 defense last year, he got 6 sacks.
Dang.
Yep. Brandon Cleveland. Look for that name. Go look him up right now. You want to see somebody who has a chip on their shoulder? Brandon Cleveland. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder. He's good, really good size. 6'4", 315, 21 years old. That's actually not this year. He won't break out this year, but in the next 2 or 3 years, that's the guy that I'm looking forward to doing something.
Dang, they sound like they drafted a lot of good need pieces.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, the more you dig into the draft, you're just like, oh shit, they were really thinking this thing out. They
Yeah,
were
they
really
was.
thinking this thing out. Uh,
All right, Furpo. Let me go grab some water. I'll be right back.
all right, sounds good. Brandon Cleveland. Yo, what up? Who's in? Who's in here? You are gonna love this stat from Brandon Cleveland. This is what got me excited. As soon as you come back, yo, everyone's still here. If you're still here, keep hitting your boys up. If you guys have any questions, anything you want to talk about, let us know. I'm gonna be here for a little bit longer. I got some other things to do, but we'll be here for a bit longer. Wait for the camera to come back. Man, I'm so excited about Keon Crawford, guys. Dude, Keon Crawford. I, mm, Let me know when you're back, because I gotta talk more about this, man.
We're going to be able to look at the roster and see where the main competitions are pretty soon because some things that were questionable aren't really that questionable.
Oh yeah, exactly. Dude, I've been telling people like, do not listen to the national media. They are so they keep saying like question here. It's like no, 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 no. We've got answers. We've got answers. I've said this before, and people won't believe me. It's okay. I think Keon Crawford can be better than Max Crosby in 4 years because Keon Crawford is only 22 years old at 253 pounds. I want to
The
see
only drawback from him is he hasn't played football that long.
for a lot. Exactly.
Yeah, so he's still learning. So and you still learning, that's cool, but you gotta put it together because once you learn whatever it is that you learn, now you gotta upgrade it because Max isn't Max because he keep doing the same swim move. Max is Max because he does that swim move and some other stuff.
Uh-huh.
But it just don't jump off the screen like that because it doesn't equate to 15 sacks. But he stops the run like, and we're traditionally been a bad run stopping team like for a long time. And Max is the only solid piece that we had that can stop the run for sure.
Yeah, you want to hear a crazy stat about Max Crosby? Not even a stat. So Max Crosby, when he was drafted, weighed 255. In his first season, though, he went up to 278. Okay, remember what Max said that he started going to rehab and then his game improved? I'm pretty sure in his first season, Max put on because he put on 20 pounds in his first season and then slimmed back down to 253. I think once Max got healthier, his body just filled out better, and he just looked more of an athlete, and then started performing. Okay, when you look at Keon Crawford, I keep saying it. I think he's going to go up to around 260, and he's going to stay at around 260, and he will become one of the better rushers. He still has to get better, right? The technique still has to get better, but if he can figure that out, I think he's got excellent upside.
He definitely wasn't on anyone's radar.
Yeah. And I'm curious to see how Crawford is going to play, because the way Max plays is going to be, I mean, the way every NFL player plays is slightly different from every other NFL player. So Max maintaining that weight is the reason why he has good agility, right? And then combine that with his tenacity makes him also good against the run, right? Other 250-pound D end are not going to be as good against the run as Max is. Max is just kind of a unicorn in that particular regard. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because stopping the run is an attitude.
Yes, there it is. Okay, there it is. And if I'm being honest, that's the one thing that I think Keon Crawford doesn't have enough of. That's why I've said Keon Crawford is not good against the run, because he doesn't have enough attitude to use his power to really get. But you can teach somebody that, right? You can teach somebody just how to be more aggressive at the point of impact.
Yeah, because they're gonna be running. They're gonna start running towards Keon especially once he get a couple sacks. They're gonna be like, man, we gotta run at him and throw bodies at him.
And he's got just enough size and enough weight and enough speed to really shut that down. So I think in the next 3 years, he might be the actual breakout star of the draft. At least he's got the potential. But again, everyone we drafted has the potential, including Malachi Benson, who we drafted in the 6th, has the potential to be a top flight wide receiver, right? And Brandon Cleveland can be a top flight defensive tackle. It really just depends on what these guys do. But the Raiders are in really good hands. And that's the last thing I'm going to say, because I got to sign off now. I got some stuff to do, but I got to sign off.
Yep. I appreciate it, brother.
Oh, absolutely, man. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe. For my channel, I am back. I'm back streaming tomorrow, and I'm going to bring out some stuff to talk about. But you and I should be back again, maybe later this week, maybe next week for sure, but you'll let me know.
Yeah, for sure. It's all good.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. I'm going to sign out. As always, Raiders.
I'm a Raider now.
I'm a Raider. From the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.